It was the dogs. Oh, you pressed live already. Okay.
You need one of those little do not disturb signs.
I know people have told me about that, but that would require getting up, going to the door of my office, and leaving some sort of indicator that I'm recording. I thought, it'd be cool if I get like a wireless system and push a button and the record light would come on outside my office, but I don't know if there is such a thing.
Well, hello,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
everybody. We're doing another podcast episode about the year 2005. So far, I will say like the most decent years of the 2000s has been like 2001, 2002, and 2004, and maybe 2000. I felt like 2003 was I don't know, lacking a little bit. And
Yeah, you weren't super impressed with 2003.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There was some pretty good movies like Underworld, and what was it? That Denzel Washington movie.
Which one was that? The one about the man on? Wait a
Not
second.
Man on Fire. I think that was
Out of Time.
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah,
but just I don't know. Like, I feel like there wasn't a lot of them, just a few. So now we're going into 2005. I gotta say this one's actually also just as decent as 04, but you have like big
there was
block.
a lot to choose from.
I mean, most of them we've seen already. The block.
Not most, but several of them.
Yeah, but we've seen like the blockbuster ones.
Mm-hmm. Like Harry Potter.
Harry
things
Potter.
Like that.
Oh yeah. So speaking of Harry Potter, number 1 is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I think this was the first.
Wait. Where are you looking?
The Wikipedia.
Okay. It's really annoying how Wikipedia used to list all the films of 2005 together.
Yeah,
now
in this page they are listing everything.
Okay, but they don't show each individual film, do they? They just show the top 10 films, right?
Well, no, they're showing everything I think that came out.
Can you put the link in the private chat? Because the one I'm looking at does not show Harry Potter.
I actually double checked to make sure if it was.
It shows episode 3 on my page, so I'm not looking at the same place as yours.
Simon beat me to it.
Oh,
there's Colin.
Hey, Colin.
Hey there, lover boy.
How's everyone? Broke back. Here we go. Yeah. No! How did you do that?
Hey, Tariq, how are you doing? Let me go check this thing out.
We just started with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire as number 1 for this year.
Yes.
Okay, so Arturo, this page does not have all of the movies listed.
Wait,
but
really?
I'm going to refer. Isn't that frustrating? They stopped doing that.
Oh, wait. This is okay. I thought it was. It was.
It's annoying, but I'm going to go by this one.
So,
Colin,
what's up? You're killing me, Simon.
That is annoying.
Hey, Colin, this is off topic, but I'm still in love with Stranger Things.
Really?
Oh my goodness, dude! The end of episode 4, and no spoilers because Arturo hadn't seen it, but that blew me away.
I don't remember.
With Max. With Max and the Kate Bush song.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was. I mean, that was a pretty tense moment. That was a very tense moment.
And the symbolism. I mean, what it symbolizes too, like what was going on with her. It was just really.
Oh man, like so. There's the American box office. Okay.
Yes.
And
there's a difference.
There's a reverse. There's a reverse.
Yeah, there is.
So this is hard. Okay, well, I guess overall though, worldwide, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is number 1. And that was my first Harry Potter movie that I went to go see on the big screen. That's right. I remember that. It felt like yesterday when we went to go see that movie.
Number 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Goblet of Fire. That was my first one as well, on the big screen.
I just like he had a little bit of longer hair in that one.
He did.
Kind of like how I ended up having longer hair later.
Yeah, you looked a lot like him when you were around that same age.
Short hair though, but it won't be until later that my hair would grow like in that sort of way like he looked in the movie. That one was like about them doing what, like game tour, like
was the competition. That was, I think, that was the first movie where there was a death of like one of the characters that had been focused on.
That actor from Twilight.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw him. And I had been reading the audiobooks. I had just gotten into reading the audiobooks before watching the film. And in fact, I finished the audiobook like the day of, and Timothy was coming into town, and he finished the audiobook as the plane was, he finished the book as the plane was landing. We go straight to the theater because I had to go to California the very next day because Matt was dying of pneumonia. And we were both we liked it, but we were skosh disappointed because like we expected all this stuff to be in there that wasn't. And that's when I decided I'm not going to read a book so close to seeing the film.
Yeah.
Kind of destroys the experience.
I had no knowledge of the book, so I liked it either way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I enjoy it.
Yeah, those were pretty dark times.
That was not a good year. No, 2005.
As much as 05 had a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
So Harry Potter and number 2 worldwide is episode 3.
Yeah, you were scarred by that one, I think.
Well, I think I was a little bit too young to see
probably a little bit too young. Shame on me for taking you to see that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. First, wasn't it like how many days after it came out that we went to go see that movie?
I'd already seen it. I'd already No. It was I'm sorry. It was the weekend. It was the same weekend. It was opening weekend.
It's funny because just like Shrek, we went to see that movie at the theater that I now work.
No. We went to go see that at the theater where Addie works.
Wait, really?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
No.
Yes, we did.
I don't know. I remember how it looked. It looked like the exact building.
Is Addie your other daughter?
No, it's a close family friend.
Okay. She also works in the movie theater?
Yeah, she does. Except she works at like a competing one somewhere else.
Yeah, no. I remember it being at that exact theater.
I don't think so, Arturo.
Because I remember you took a picture of me with the Vader
Because we went to go eat at California Pizza Kitchen.
Really?
And that's where that place is. We did go see it at that other theater when Papa and Tim and Matt, we all went to go see it together. We went to go see it at that one.
I went. I remember your dad.
But that wasn't, I don't think that was your, okay, here we are. We're going to argue over.
I'm telling you, I think it was the one I'm working at.
I don't think so. We'll take this off camera after the stream.
I'm right. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Sometimes your memory's not right.
I have good memory. Yeah.
Are we there yet?
Okay. At the time. Wait, what?
I was just getting distracted by the comments.
Ice Cube. Are we there yet?
Is that was an Ice Cube movie?
I think that's the comedy road trip movie.
Okay, I have not seen that yet.
My memory with episode 3 was them, like, that opening scene, really cool. I still think it's
I think honestly, that opening scene in Revenge of the Sith is pretty sweet. I think the shot, just the long ass shot of like space and battle, and I remember seeing that on the big screen. Me and my friend were there, like the midnight show. The theater was packed. He brought in a little flask of whiskey, and that was awesome. But as I've gotten older and watched the movie a couple more times, I don't really like it as much anymore.
I still like it.
I remember being surprised at, so that opening scene, the one where he decapitates Dooku, I remember being surprised that it was as explicit as it was. And then, of course, there's the scene later at the, with the Vader transformation. That's pretty horrific as well.
Do it. Yeah. Kill him.
Oh, gosh, that guy.
That part where he did what he did with Dooku, like, I actually missed that part when I was watching it. I didn't even see it. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Well,
I
It
hate
happens so
the
quickly, but you see his head tumble. You must have missed
well,
the
yeah,
head.
like when I saw it with our cousins. It's a
Ah,
little more clear. The other thing I remembered was that I really hated when the specific thing happened.
when Darth Vader was.
Execute Order 66.
Oh, all of that stuff. That was kind of sad.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
remember.
liked it. I liked the clone troopers,
Do
and
it.
then your dad was like, "Oh goodness, there's a whole bunch of them or something."
Oh yeah,
with the
yeah.
with
He's
the,
like, oh my goodness, there's a whole load of them because he doesn't like the Wookiees. It was showing like an army of the Wookiees.
yeah, and the
Yep.
whole Vader scene. I'm trying to remember if that really scarred me or not. I just remembered Padme's
You about
death
threw
was
up. You
like,
had to go out.
I just remember
You were freaking
Padme's
out
death
over
scene
it.
was, well, like the whole thing was like sad and just
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, I like the story as far as how it was written, and as you see his decline is definitely pretty dark, but certainly subsequent viewings are kind of like, wow, the acting could have been a little better. They could have gotten babies that were better representation of newborn twins,
Yeah.
because those looked like they were
I
3 months
do-
older.
I do think it was kind of a little bit quick with how he turned at that point and started doing what he did. That was maybe one little issue. Now, I will say people have indicated this. The Clone Wars animated series actually fixed some of that. Like, they show how he started to slowly build up to that point. So
Clone Wars is a
when
good
you,
show.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you go back to that and then watch Revenge of the Sith, then it's well connected
I see.
with
Okay.
how he, gets that.
Yeah, we never finished Clone Wars, but I really enjoyed
We
the
still need,
several
yeah.
seasons that we saw.
I know Bad Batch actually they actually literally copy scenes from Revenge of the Sith.
Oh wow,
I thought that was pretty
interesting.
cool. You have any other thoughts about Revenge of the Sith?
I don't on my end.
Nah,
Yeah, Colin's like,
nah. I would have back in the day, but I'll save my talking.
when it was fresh.
I thought the visuals at the time were really good. I mean, it's a little outdated now, but
Yeah, when you can tell now, looking back on it. At the time, it was impressive.
I'm burnt out on CG, and I think especially CG environments. When those early Star Wars movies came out, like even then it felt a little off, but it was more like, oh, these special effects are great. But now, like when a movie preview, like the new Thor movie, all the or whatever preview, superhero,
Yeah, the trailer.
all the CG, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I like the part where he's like the comedy parts, like where he's looking in the camera
Yeah, that was funny.
oh yeah.
That stuff I like, but all the CG is just like it's overload. It's been 20 years of just look at all the cool explosions and lightning, and I'm just like, I think I've seen it all. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't really excite me anymore.
Right. It has been overdone. I think that might be one of the reasons why I love Top Gun Maverick so much.
Oh yeah, because that was
that movie.
Wait, who's
that? Might be Tim.
Is it?
Oh no.
I'm just wondering
who's there.
Who, Jess? They're muted. Did you? Let me see. I'll unmute them. Oh, can't. Whoever's here.
Oh no.
You need to unmute yourself. I'm sorry.
He went away.
Okay. They're back again. Okay. Who is this? Is this Tim? I'm going to add to the stream. Okay. Is this Tim?
What's my name?
New Jazz.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm a little slow.
It's okay. I'll forgive it.
At least you didn't put humongous.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about we were just wrapping up discussion of the number 2 movie for 2005, which was Star Wars Episode 3.
I figured that was going to be a topic of discussion. Yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that one.
we got through with talking about Harry Potter. I told the little story about how we went to see it as soon as you landed.
Man, but that was
Got into town.
such a mess of a time.
It was not a good time.
No.
And then we moved on to episode 3.
Okay.
So that's where we were. And
Which
then this
I'm gonna say again, it was the theater that I'm working.
I don't think so.
I think
No,
no,
because we went to eat at the California Pizza Kitchen.
It's
I
possible
remember.
we went all the way over to the theater.
No, we didn't go all the way over there. It was in the same complex. We're just gonna have to argue about this later.
Yeah, take that back home. Take that back home.
I know. We've been bickering about it for a bit. Okay.
Number 3 is Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
Which I did see that one. It's been a while.
The Witch in the Wardrobe.
Yeah, I wish I had seen that one on the big screen. I hadn't read the books.
Golden McAvoy.
Yeah, that's right. I had forgotten he was in there.
That's kind of like a dead series now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they never
finished it. But the thing was, the interesting was that when that movie first came out, James McAvoy, he was Mr. Tumnus, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, this guy's gonna be something someday. He's gonna be on loads of stuff. I don't know why. I just had a feeling. And
Really?
Sure enough, yeah, and it's for sure. Like right after he was in like X-Men First Class, and they started getting like one thing after the other. And then I think his big one was that one with Angelina Jolie. Oh my goodness. Wanted? Was it Wanted?
Wanted. I was going to say Hitman.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not it. Yeah, Wanted.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's probably the first one where I noticed him as an actor, because that was before X-Men First Class.
Was the one with the Forrest Whitaker about Idi Amin that he played in that movie? That got him a lot of attention.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that. I forget the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. I didn't see it, but I know what you're talking about.
That was good. But yeah, I remember that too. James, like, Narnia was like my first, and he stood out in Narnia. Maybe, I don't know if it was because he had the legs and the horns, or but his acting, but he did have like make an impression. So, I read all those Narnia books about. It's like just like Lord of the Rings before any movies came out. I read all those because there's the backstory of like those two authors were friends, like Tolkien and the guy. They were friends, and they even had it was like a competition who would write the more like successful fantasy series.
That's funny.
Oh wow!
But Narnia, it was 7 books, but for the most part, each book was kind of its own story. Like they kind of connected, but it was kind of like each one had a beginning and end. Yes, that's the movie.
Yeah.
Chibi. And so Lord of the Rings, whereas Lord of the Rings was really like part 1, part 2, part 3, and so I think that's what made Lord of the Rings.
I know Lord of the Rings probably more popular, but
for sure,
I feel like I like Narnia a little bit more.
Probably because of the World War II stuff. Do you think? Because it starts off in that time period.
Well, yeah, but they get transported to the world.
Right.
That was kind of a cool aspect. Like they go through the closet and they're
right, the wardrobe. What?
The author's childhood house was on sale recently. Well, in the last couple of years. A place called Little Leah. And it still contains a very ornate wardrobe from his childhood.
Interesting.
The wardrobe.
That's cool.
It's about 2 miles from here.
Oh, whoa, really?
Is it like a, I'm surprised it's not a mute. What in the world are they yapping at?
I think someone pulled up in our driveway.
Oh, probably someone to talk to. Oh my gosh. Okay, go on. Oh my goodness, they would do this.
I never saw the last one though. The last time?
They only made 3, right?
Yeah.
Was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then was the second one Prince Caspian?
I think it
Prince
was
Caspian, and then there wasn't there
the Voyage or something, like a sea.
Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. That was the other one.
And that was it. They're done.
Yeah.
After that, they didn't make any more. For some reason, it didn't. I don't think it took off. Oh,
It was like
I
I feel like they wanted to like recapture like how everything was going on with the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then there was a lot of other movies that came out that were similar, like which I actually liked, The Golden Compass, and I was kind of bummed out that they didn't do the Amber Spyglass or the other one after, but they dropped that series dead. Yeah,
His Dark Materials. Did you like that?
I
The
like
series.
McAvoy is kind of, it all goes around.
You know, it's coming back to McAvoy again. But yeah, they have the show, and I haven't watched the show.
I liked it, but it also felt like I started to get tired. I don't think I watched the second season. If there was, I watched the first season, and it was like it was exciting, but then it also felt like it kind of was weird too. I don't know. It could have been better, but it could have been worse.
Right. I don't know. I like the whole concept of that series. But again, it just seemed like it was dead in the water after the Golden Compass, and I thought it had something to do with that guy's, like, I don't know, personal beliefs or something, and they were trying to tie something into like Satan. I don't know. It was
really
which guy's personal beliefs? The
author?
author?
Yeah, the author or something. There was something weird.
I remember there was controversy about it, like it being anti-God.
Which
or
movie?
The Golden Compass.
I have no idea.
But did you read the books, Tim?
Wait,
I did not read the books.
Oh, okay.
I know the Chronicles of Narnia was a big Jesus allegory.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, with Aslan, the lion, which, by the way, Liam Neeson was a perfect choice to do the voice of that character. I mean, he's just got such a distinctive voice. He just sounds so majestic and regal. Yes, that was him.
Yeah, okay. He can sound majestic and regal and be Zeus, and then at the same time, terrifying.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's true.
You are. And I want you down, and I will kill you.
Yep. That's true. Liam Neeson. Good old Liam Neeson.
Yep.
Number 4 was War of the Worlds. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
That set him on the map of being the highest paid actor for any, I guess given movie. Didn't he make like $100 million off of that movie because he decided to prorate himself and take a percentage only? Like, he did it for free to start.
Yeah,
it's pretty gnarly.
I heard about that. We do tend to get lost in the weeds at times.
Yeah.
During these discussions, it's true.
They still have the that whole aircraft set. The aircraft set is still at Universal Studios.
Oh my gosh!
This is like a joke.
Really, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to drive through it.
I was trying to get Arturo to watch it. Like, that was one of the list of movies that I recommended. Well, just because they were barking. Hold on, let me grab her. Well, you can let them go. I think someone's here, and so they're all agitated about that. So if you could just take them for a bit, you can release them after a while. But when they bark, you can hear it on Arturo's mic.
I like War of the Worlds. I mean, Spielberg, Tom Cruise. I think like Minority Report better for another Spielberg.
Wait, Spielberg directed that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't know. I don't remember knowing that. Holy cow. One of the things I remember from War of the Worlds was that Dakota Fanning annoyed the absolute hell out of me with all her screaming.
Yeah.
She was really aggravating. That's like the one memory I associate with that film. But I've only seen it once. I probably would like it maybe more on a second viewing.
Yeah, she started burning her like character out. She was typecast as the semi-prodigal genius child, and it got worn quick.
You mean in this movie or just in general?
Just in general. She always seemed to play that kind of character, like, oh, I'm 8 years old, but I talk like I'm 20, and then
right,
and I have the brain of a 40-year-old. It was all the time.
Yeah.
Wait, what actress?
Okay, so she's the little girl who played in that movie with Denzel called
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. That girl.
Okay, her.
She was everywhere, and she was cute and everything, and she was a good actress, but after a while I got tired of seeing her.
Her sister's a better actress, though.
Yeah, her sister is a better actress.
Is she the one that showed up in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as
Yes. Yes. She was pretty good in that, though. She's probably a better adult actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
She's
her.
been in other stuff too.
She's been in loads of stuff.
Hey Jeff, how you doing? Yeah, she's been everywhere. Okay.
Then there's number 5, King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong. I was really excited about King Kong, and I did like it a lot. I had the DVD, watched it a few times, and it's one of those that, like, yeah, it definitely has its flaws, and it's, I don't know, it was just fun. Jack Black's always been one of my favorites. I mean, we were talking about the D, and I remember I already loved him and loved Tenacious D before King Kong, and I was like, it's so cool. Jack Black's like in the biggest blockbuster movie of the year. Like, he actually gets to be the star of a big movie, and it was a good world for him. And just, I love that story of like the island and the mysterious.
His face expressions.
Yeah, he's so good. I love Jack Black, and I love that movie is just a lot of fun. Although it is, CG heavy and kind of simplistic, and there's stuff that's just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's also a little too long.
Some of the scenes go on too. I remember Timothy complaining about the scene with the dinosaurs on the stampede and complaining. It does.
Yeah, some of it doesn't look so good, and you could see a bit of it, but
Kong looked good.
Yeah, Kong looked really good.
Oh, Colin Hanks was in. Yeah, I forgot he was in there. I was thinking of Adrian Brody. I don't know. I about Adrian.
Yeah, I don't know. Adrian the Nose Brody, I just can't get behind.
Yeah,
not as an action star. He just didn't convince me in that Predators movie, whatever it was.
Yeah, me neither.
He just always had this, like, I don't know, sad face to me that I'm just like
it's the nose, man. The nose is so long and droopy that he just looks like, oh, why the long face? And it's like, oh, it's the long nose.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
He just has a face for drama.
The guy
for drama stuff, not action.
The guy from the Pianist.
The Nose Brody.
The guy, the one who played her love interest.
Yeah, the guy from The Pianist.
Oh yeah, him. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I tried to get rid of the troll, and sometimes when I try to block them, I get an error message, and then they just like, I got an error message just now. I can't remove it.
I'm blocking them.
So yeah, I'm trying to. Maybe it's because you're trying at the same time. Okay.
Number 6 is Madagascar.
I like to move it.
I remember seeing
that
one in the movie theater.
Movie's entertaining. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just a bunch of bunzies.
They're just a bunch of bunzies. I still quote that character.
His voice is King Julian. His voice is hilarious. Oh, come on, buddies. Let me tell you.
And the penguins. I like the penguins in there. They were like spies, sort of.
Yeah, Kowalski, and I can't remember the rest of them off the top of my head.
Was that one had Chris Rock in it?
Yes, he's a zebra.
Yeah.
He was a zebra. Jeff, I don't know how to make you mods while the show is on. I mean, while the live stream is going. It's true. I should make some of you guys the mods because it's a bit distracting when I'm trying to deal with it during the discussion. I'll try to do something like that afterwards. Try to figure it out afterwards so that if that happens, you guys can help. Okay.
Number 7 is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That was pretty good.
That was fun.
I like that movie.
Yeah. When that movie came out, I thought to myself, why, putting the handsomest man in the world with the most beautiful woman in the world at the time, I was like, this is going to lead to some marital discord, and sure enough.
It certainly did, and they denied it for a while. But there's just something about how it's like a symbolism for marriage and issues in a marriage, and I thought it was really good. Oh, there's Derek. Artur, are you going to add him or you want me? I don't want us to both accidentally.
I'll add him.
Okay.
Hey, Derek.
Derek's actually showing his face today.
Oh.
Are you in your new place, or are you still back at your?
I'm still here in the greater shithole county of. No, yeah, I'm still here. Okay. I do have a Wyoming hat now. I'm
there
slowly
you go.
Transitioning. So.
Slowly transitioning. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, glad you could join us. We were working our way down the top 10 list, and we were on Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's a really fun film. I enjoyed it more than I thought
I
I would.
actually really like the whole interaction between, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that one scene where they, when they came and just went through the house, and then he comes back, he goes to that garage where he had all his stuff, and then he's like just punching the air.
Yeah, Timothy likes that scene, I think, too. Like that little, he does. He's so mad.
Or whenever the whole elevator scene, and he wasn't even on that elevator.
And he realized she really did try to kill him. And he's got this look like, I can't believe
she's all sad.
She did.
All sad and depressed.
Yeah, it was funny. It was good.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Mr. Depp. I saw that one in the theater.
I never seen that.
This reminded me, I lived in Santa Fe for like 6 months in 2005. Because that summer we saw Charlie and Chocolate Factory in Santa Fe theater. That was fun. That was a good place to live. And Charlie and Chocolate Factory was.
Ooh, that wind is really strong. I think it's Derek.
Yeah, maybe. Hold on. I'm sorry. I think at my house it's all goofy, so I apologize if dogs bark. Here, I'll mute it and I'll be back.
Oh, there's that stupid troll again.
I don't know if I really remember Charlie Factory much, or if I have anything good or bad to say about it. I don't know. Like, it's weird. Tim Burton and Johnny Depp. I guess I almost thought it would be a little more risky or different.
Oh, really?
It was kind of like goofy, and it was like weird, but in like a safe. I feel like Tim Burton kind of went like sort of
family friendly.
Yeah, in a way that's like it's alright. It's still kind of different in a way, than traditional, but in a way that's not very interesting, I guess. So that's I don't remember much about that.
I never saw the original just because it doesn't look very interesting to me. So I just
original. Well, maybe as a kid, the original.
I mean, the first,
a huge deal. I felt like because I had all these things I'd like fantasize as a kid. Like some of that stuff was really cool. I don't know. I can't believe you never saw the original.
No, never have been interested. That's why I never saw this one because I just wasn't interested.
I gotta say, this is like a new revelation to me because I saw it as a kid, and I assumed you had seen it. But now that being said, don't attack me or kill me. As seeing it as a kid, I really didn't care for it. Even as a kid, I was like, no. So when they said they're doing a remake, I was like, oh, I'll pass. Hard pass.
I'm getting so tired of these remakes. They're gonna remake the thing.
That one worked on me. Like it gave me that whimsy where it's like one candy bar or 5 of them had like a golden tick. Like just that when you're a kid you'd buy something and you want to get a reward and just then he gets to the factory and it's just really creative, that movie. I felt like it had a lot of creative stuff that I was very absorbed by. Like, oh, that's so cool.
So you must have not been too impacted by the remake, because doesn't seem like okay.
I mean, I was 20 years old, and it just felt like it didn't have. I mean, obviously, it was not like 7 or 8 like I saw the original. But like, I don't remember it really doing anything, improving on the original at all. It was just like a different version. But
Red Letter Media have a very good review of the original.
What?
And Red Letter Media have a very good review of the original.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And although the remake isn't great, I think it was one of Johnny Depp's favorite movies to work on because he actually married a chocolate factory.
What?
Yeah.
Here we go.
That one took me half a second to get, but that's nasty. Okay.
That's right. Good old Scamber turd.
Oh my gosh, Scamber turd.
Oh man.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll try to figure out how to make you a mod whenever the live stream is over, because I don't know how to do it, and I can't do it from here, from StreamYard, where I am.
Symbol is on top of like the comments.
What's that, Arturo?
I wonder what the star means on the comment. When you scroll over, there's like a star.
You know what? I don't know, and I'm afraid to hit it.
Oh, that's just a bot. The naked bro tender. Yeah, that's just a bot.
Yeah, but there's like this little star icon on the right hand corner, and if I press it, I don't know what that means. I don't know what it might do.
I don't know nothing about Heck no.
I'll have to look that up later. I don't want to like accidentally mess up the comments section.
Number
Anyway.
9 is Batman Begins.
There you go.
You remember seeing that one as well in theaters?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, so good.
Yes.
So good. I think we've talked about it before, because, yeah, it's so good.
I saw it 3 times on the big screen.
I know, honestly, I actually liked the video game a lot more at the time. Because, like, there was just, like, more context with it. Like, stuff that happened, like, prior to whatever happened in the scene in the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, it was I thought it was very well done. I mean, I always liked Batman anyway, but I remember it was watching Christian Bale in Equilibrium that convinced me that he was going to be a good Batman, because I didn't really know much about him. And I was impressed with it. I liked it.
Oh, the guy that did Scarecrow, too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. He was good in there.
I think it's, I mean, if it wasn't for Dark Knight and Batman Begins are like the 2 best superhero movies. For me, in my opinion, they're my favorite. And Batman Begins is so cool because it's like the origin story. I mean, he's super rich, which helps, obviously. Him being super rich helps. But I like how he basically just goes to like a ninja camp and in the mountains and learns to fight. And then like he goes back and uses his money to like buy cool shit. But it's kind of like just the story of this dude. Like he's really has a lot of willpower and determination, and just the way it was made, all realistic and stuff. And yeah, that movie, I didn't expect much. I wasn't looking forward to it. I was like, oh, Batman. No, but Christopher Nolan directed it, though, so I think I do remember being like, Christopher Nolan maybe would make it cool, but I was kind of bummed that he's doing Batman, like, I want something different. I was tired of, I wasn't a huge Batman fan. Like, how many times are they going to make this Batman, even at that point? And I still liked it. It would definitely turn me and impress me how it was like. It felt very true to the comic book.
I guess it was just like more of the, like at the time when it came out, more of not like the corny sort of Batman, like 90s or 80s, but more of a realistic Batman.
Yeah, like the graphic novel Batman.
Yeah.
Isn't 2005 the year of Tom Cruise's meltdown in Oprah?
I think so.
Yes.
I'm in love with Katie Holmes.
Yeah, jumping on the couch.
Yeah.
That's right. And I remember, I think he went to I think it was War of the Worlds premiere he went to with Katie Holmes, and someone squirted him with a water gun.
What?
Yeah, do y'all remember that?
Yeah. It had it was the microphone that shot out water.
Yeah, they squirted him. Okay, all right, wasn't an actual shape like a gun, but I remember his reaction to it. Like he wasn't assholey. He was just like, now why did you do that? That was a very rude thing. I mean, it's kind of like just like trying to have this heart to heart with this guy. Like that was incredibly rude.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. But yeah, the whole Katie Holmes thing, that was a little strange. But
wait, I don't think I saw that.
He was on Oprah, and it had recently come out that he and Katie Holmes were dating. That's the girl who played in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how much he loved her, and I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw clips of it. He gets up on Oprah's couch, and he starts like jumping up and down like a little kid and talking about how much in love he was. It was like, that's strange.
It became a real like pop culture moment. Like I think Scary Movie 4 made fun of it too.
Yeah.
Family Guy made fun of it.
Yeah.
With Stewie jumping on the couch. I'm in love with Katie Holmes. I'm not gay.
Yeah.
To this day, anytime me and my wife actually go out of town and stay in a hotel, I jump on the bed and do that instantly.
I'm in love with you.
And she, like, we run in the room, I drop the bags and I just jump up, bouncing up and down. And she's just like, "All right, get down."
For real?
Yeah, I don't care.
What relationship is this now?
Oh my gosh.
I try to embarrass her as much as I can whenever
and
possible.
You do a good job at it. You do a really good job at it, Tim. I was going to say, in answer to this, I think Tim, my brother, really likes this movie. Sahara?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Man, you know what? The intro to that movie, if everybody could just go to YouTube and watch just the intro to that movie, I think it's one of my favorite movies because it does this pan around with the camera. It's nonstop for like maybe 2 minutes or so. And gives you like this semi backstory to like the three main, or actually four characters in the movie, and their history, and I don't know, just the way it was done was phenomenal.
Okay.
I loved it.
I'm surprised I forgot that, because I saw that movie, but it sounds really memorable opening.
Yeah, it's got that song where it's like, it must have been the wrong time. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's like there's this Civil War kind of scene at the very beginning, and then it fades out to like this like diagram of this boat, and then it starts going around through this kind of area of this boat where they have like their experiments going and stuff, and the camera moves and you see articles about the characters, and you see that they basically grew up as kids, and you see them that they joined the military and they were in the Navy together, and then they started working as in this group called Numa. And it's just the way that credits was done. I always thought to myself, when my books become a movie, I want an intro credits like that. That's yeah,
cool.
I don't know.
I've only seen it the one time. I don't remember.
Man, we should have. You know what? We should have watched that one. Did you put that on the list?
You know what? I don't think I did.
We can watch it. We can watch it when I come into town.
That's right. Do we have it on Vudu, Tim?
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I don't know what happened to Derek.
That's like
Maybe
asking if that's like that. No, that's like asking if Amber Heard shit in the bed. Yes. That's the new term. Does an Amber Heard shit in the bed? There you go.
right. Instead of asking about bears, yeah.
That's
right.
A good one.
The last one on the list was Hitch.
Yeah, Will Smith comedy romance.
Romance comedy, I would say.
Yeah.
It was a bromedy, big time bromedy.
I never saw it though. Because it looked way too like 80. I don't know.
Oh, really?
80 movie.
I saw it maybe twice.
So that's pretty much it for the top 10.
It was a pretty big hit though. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge hit.
Yep.
A lot of
in
people.
the top 10, it did pretty well.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up one movie that I had recently, well, actually two that I recently saw just before this. Red Eye.
Cillian Murphy. Playing.
Yeah, it's
Rachel McAdams.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of like Nobody, where it's not long.
Yeah,
but
it was
has
less
enough
than
to
an
put
hour,
in
and a half.
Yeah, the story. So I thought it was pretty good.
I think I liked it better the second time I saw it. I remember the first time I was underwhelmed by it, but upon the second viewing, it's not bad.
Really? I never.
Yeah,
felt
I mean,
that
I didn't dislike it. I was just like, oh, okay. But on the second viewing, I was pretty entertained by it.
Acting's really good.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. What were you gonna say?
I'm just looking at the top 10. It's weird. Number 11 worldwide is Fantastic Four, which I feel like is barely remembered as just a failure.
I don't remember.
11 in the world, and everyone's like, "Your movie sucks, and we'll never watch it again." It's like with only 10 movies did better. Like, what do you want from us? Like,
right.
And just all that.
And they made a sequel though.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
So.
And also Sin City.
We watched that last night.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah. Okay. What did you think?
It's different and crazy.
Great. Yeah, it's different and crazy. I like recommending different crazy.
But I suggested we watch it just because the art style was so
unique. Man.
Artistically, it's a great movie.
It's beautiful, actually.
It really is.
It's a gorgeous movie.
Really, yeah, it's really.
Would you say it still holds up today?
I think it does. I mean,
I feel like
back then I remember thinking, "Oh wow, imagine how many movies are going to start doing this kind of thing." And now, 20 years later, almost, I'm like, not many movies did that.
See, like that's what I like about the 2000s. I felt like the 2000s was like the last decade for like either originality or doing something different.
And maybe, I don't know if it's my perspective, but it seems like there is more creativity, which is surprising that because I thought it was going to lead to more creative, but movie is like that. I mean, he made a movie like in Austin, kind of in his own studio there in Austin, and I remember that really like I talked about Robert Rodriguez, how he inspired me. That was one of those things where I'm like, he made this movie outside of the Hollywood system, like not on his own, but with his own kind of little setup there in Austin. And I think Sin City still today looks better than a lot of movies. So it shows you how just do it yourself. You don't have to go to I don't know, do it yourself, but you don't have to go to Hollywood.
It said Quentin Tarantino also worked on this movie because it kind of
Yeah,
has that
he was
vibe. It kind of went. It's sort of like
I think he directed a
and then
scene
backwards.
because I think he directed one of the scenes where they're in the car. Because I had the Sin City deluxe collector set DVD.
Oh.
I watched all the special features, and if I remember correctly, Tarantino directed the scene where they're driving in the car. They're in the car a few times. I can't remember the character. But I love that movie. I think it does definitely hold up.
It was a huge cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
In that film. Like there was just so many recognizable people were in there. I'd forgotten how many
Bruce
people
Willis,
were in that
Rosario
movie.
Dawson.
Rosario
I love
Dawson, yeah.
Bruce Willis's role. I mean, he's done a lot of cool roles, but that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? He was in King Arthur.
Clive Owen was in
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Nick Stahl was in it.
Del Toro.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Benicio
del Toro.
Don't forget about my boy.
Wood.
Don't forget about my boy.
Who?
Marv.
Wait, who's Marv?
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah,
I thought you were thinking Carl Urban, and I'm like, Carl Urban wasn't in this movie.
No.
Yeah.
No, he did an amazing job as Marv.
Yeah,
the guy that was getting kicked around, beat up, but
the big
around killing
with the trench coat and the square face.
Yeah, the one that the girl died was killed in his
he was kind of the star of the movie.
Yeah, he was good. And then the guy from Lord of the Rings. There we go. The guy from Lord of the Rings, Frodo.
Elijah Wood. Yeah.
Elijah Wood. Michael
Rosario Dawson.
It was Rosario Dawson and Jessica Biel. What's her name? Carla? Is it Carla?
Carla Gugino.
Gugino.
Something like that. And
this movie introduced me to her, and I never.
That's the first time you. That poor girl. That poor girl that died. She was in there.
Brittany Murphy.
Yes, yeah.
See, I don't even know movie. I didn't even hear the movie title, but I know what you're talking about. Sin
City. Because it was such a huge cast. Yeah, we're talking about obviously Sin City. Yep. And everywhere you turn, like the little girl from Gilmore Girls, she was in there.
That's the one. I don't know her name, but yeah.
Oh, the guy from Terminator 3.
Yeah, that's what I said. Nick Stahl.
Okay, yeah.
He was a yellow bastard or whatever his name was.
Him, and then the dirty cop it's been mostly in Quentin Tarantino's movies.
Oh,
he always plays
that Michael Madsen?
Yeah.
Powers Booth was in there as well.
Powers Booth, that's right. It was just they were just all coming out of the woodwork.
Rutger Hauer.
That's
he
right.
Was in there?
Rutger Hauer was in there.
Wait, who was he?
Wow, I forgot.
Wasn't he that one guy's dad that he was covering up for him?
Yeah, the villain.
Yeah. He was
that was. I didn't recognize him.
You recognized him when you first saw him when we watched
Rutger Hauer, the father.
Yeah.
The father. I don't think I recognized the father.
I can't remember if he was he like a politician or something or
there was
I think so. That's why his son was getting away with stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it was really good. The movie.
I saw The Matador for whoever's asking. I saw it in theaters. That's
oh man! What would you say? What's your score for it?
That was one of the movies I wrote down to check out because I don't remember if I saw it. That's Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yeah, Greg Kinnear and.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked it, man. I thought it was really dark. I thought it was exceptionally dark. I like that kind of humor, so I don't know. I enjoyed it.
I think the scene that cracked me up. What's his name? Benicio del Toro?
Oh, Arturo. You're still stuck on Sin City.
I thought you guys were talking about that.
No, we were briefly talking about the Matador. But what about Benicio del Toro?
Okay, so remember when the thing went into his gun, and the guy's like, "Don't shoot! It'll like kind of like it'll blow.
It'll backfire or something."
So he turns around because he's kind of
Yeah.
He shoots and he
Backfires
gets
right
in
into
the
his
forehead.
forehead. Yeah. Yes. I do. No, I don't actually. No. There was talk about China being the. No, hold on. I'm stuck on T3
Blackie
because we were
Lawless.
talking about Nick Stahl. So I'm no. Who was originally cast? Refresh my memory. Jeff, do you know the answer to that, Derek?
Well, I showed that article that where Blackie Lawless, he was the lead singer of the band Wasp. He was considered, but then when they checked his height, he couldn't be taller than Arnold, so
Oh,
he was
okay.
disqualified. But
Okay. Yeah, I don't recall who would like if there was somebody actually cast before Robert Patrick came in, or if you're just referring to. Oh, okay. It says Billy Idol. Okay, so
yeah, he may have been considered too.
My question is,
ruined it.
Which, when you say cast, there's that troll again. When you say cast, do you mean actually cast or just considered? Because that's kind of
Oh my god.
two different things.
Well, when they're cast, they get paid, don't they? And then when they're considered, that they're just like, a job applicant. So.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the way I distinguish it. And
but they have all the cards with a property like T2. They got to call all the, all the shots. People weren't, people were knocking down the door to be in that movie.
So okay.
They should have cast Michael Biehn as the T-1000.
Yeah. Should.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Something called.
Oh wait, of course, no, I'm an idiot. He wasn't T1 as John Connor, of course. I was thinking all I think about is aliens when I hear Michael Biehn.
No,
but
wait, who was John Connor? There was no John Connor in T1.
He wasn't. Sorry, no, you're the main dude. Whoever.
Kyle Reese.
Kyle Reese, yeah.
Kyle Reese, yeah. That would have been kind of funny if they did. That's
why wouldn't Skynet do that to deceive them? Or at least Sarah, if that was the
right. I mean, he would get close enough.
Yeah.
Because
he was cool. Michael Biehn showed up in an episode of The Mandalorian. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And Walking Dead recently.
Oh, was he? See, I stopped watching Walking Dead a few years back.
I'm pretty behind on it too, but Michael Bihn's been in freaking everything. Like, seriously, you look at his resume and it's just like the dude keeps. Like, I remember I got really mad because he was in The Rock, and I was really excited when he was in it, and then he was in it for like 14 minutes or whatever, and then
trashed. Oh yeah.
Right, and then they give it all to Nicolas Cage, who at the time I like Nicolas, I love him, but I remember at the time I was a kid, so I didn't really care for Nicolas Cage. He hadn't sold me, and I probably hadn't seen a lot of his work, really, because he did R-rated stuff. But I was just kind of like, you guys gave me Nicolas Cage for Michael Biehn, and I never gave the movie a fair shot. And I don't think to this day I've watched The Rock all the way through. But that was because they dishonored Michael Biehn so badly in that film. So,
honestly,
but I think
I feel it. I hate to see him die in that movie too.
And so naively too. It was a wasted scene. It was just like and then they killed Tony Todd, but then again, he had it coming. So
that's right. Yeah. That's right. He was one of the soldiers that had joined what's his name's group. He was part of that group. Speaking of Michael Biehn, did you guys hear like the story about when he was first cast as Kyle Reese, and he comes in for the audition, and he's talking real Southern. He's got this real Southern accent, and I think, I don't remember if it was James Cameron or whoever, but they were concerned, like, he's perfect, but that accent. And it was because he had just come off of either a play or some other audition he had done where he had to talk with a Southern accent, so he was still hanging on to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was kind of funny.
He said he was trying to sound like a North Carolinian.
Oh, he's trying to sound like a North Carolinian?
A Carolinian? Carolinian? I don't know.
Carolinian. North Carolinian.
No, I don't know. I've heard that story too.
I completely forgot he was in that.
He's a bad guy. He's a bad. Well, I guess.
I've only seen it once. I really should rewatch it. I enjoyed it, but I think I was scarred by the scene with the girl, Mary Elizabeth. What's her name? The girl. You know, the scene where, I don't want to give spoilers in case Artur hasn't seen it, but there was a really scary scene with her, involving drowning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one. That one really bothered me.
Well, I was like 9, I think, when I saw it, and it was really bothersome because it was like there were boobs in a PG-13
Right.
movie, and we're like, oh, what the hell?
Right.
You know.
Wait,
Yeah,
what movie is this?
The Abyss. We got sidetracked.
Oh, The Abyss. Yeah,
that scene disturbed me a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty gross when she and when they had the that breathable orange liquid that they put the rat in. Remember that to demonstrate how they could.
No, I forgot completely about that.
Well, I felt bad for the rat. I don't give a shit about all the people on the boat. That's their thing. But they're killing the rat. They're drowning the rat for the.
That was intense. Yeah, I remember that as a kid too, where it's like seeing the rat like struggling.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. But he was okay. Rat apparently was fine. So
ended up okay. All right.
Yeah. But that was they were demonstrating. But I just remember that was a very unnerving thing because if you ever drowning is just a terrible. You imagine that, and it's just like one of those horrible things. And so just to see it even on camera like that all the time is pretty.
That's the scene that stuck with me the most of that movie. I saw it once as like I don't know 11 or 12, and that scene I remember, but I've forgotten other stuff. I kind of would watch it again.
Wow.
Yeah, even when Ed Harris put on the suit and then he was doing it, and he was basically gonna swallow the water, and then he starts gagging in the water. That's actually stuck with me too. That's
it's really intense. Yeah, scary stuff.
Pretty much fried in there. And they're like, it's okay. You had water in your lungs for 9 months when you were a baby. I'm like, yeah, that's like 50 years ago.
I remember that, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Archer, I think you would like that film. And I wouldn't mind rewatching it.
Yeah, watch the special edition they did. I think they did it for the Laserdisc, I believe, but it didn't come out on unless you were a Laserdisc, that little niche in there. But they did it on DVD, I think, in 2000. It's a special edition where they went through and restored all these deleted scenes, and one of them was this big tidal wave of water that the aliens were going to wipe out San Francisco and all the coastal towns, just to demonstrate, that they can destroy us and everything. And very expensive scene to finish, but they hadn't finished it back in whatever 89 when the movie was made, but they. Well, okay. Well, sorry if I brought that up. I apologize. It was very traumatic on me when I was 9.
It's okay. No, there's no need to apologize. I do remember noticing that, but of course it was kind of swept aside because of the urgency of the moment, and I think that was part of what really struck me. I don't know. It really affected me.
You're surrounded by guys in here, Sin, so maybe it's be a different thing.
Oh, I remember. She's the only girl in this room.
It's okay. It's okay.
See, that's the patriarchy right there. The only woman in a movie, and the only way she can validate herself is by exposing herself. And how do we live with this stuff? I don't get it.
There was a movie called Hostage with Bruce Willis.
Yep, Ben Foster too, who did great as a nasty villain in that movie, man.
Is that where is that really when they break into his house?
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. That's when I first noticed Ben Foster. He's a good actor.
He really is. He's very transformative in that role. He looked completely different. And then a couple years later, he's in 3:10 to Yuma. Completely different.
Yeah, he went from a little kid to an old dude in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one. Hostage. Yeah.
It's actually a decent film, and it made me actually go out after I saw it. I really liked the movie, and I thought it was intriguing and had, more layers than the average film you'd think it would, like a Bruce Willis type film would have. And so I wanted to read the novel because I guess they cut out a new whole subplot with the mob being involved, and that's why kind of the urgency. And I never actually read the book, but I bought it, and I've been meaning to because I liked Hostage so much. I liked the movie so much, and yeah, I think it was just I thought there were some horrible scenes where, his daughter was in the movie. Rumor was.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't.
He actually played her daughter in the movie, and they cut out the more, I think, kind of the worst scenes where she shows him that she's seen him, putting his gun in his mouth and everything, that he's gonna, he's suicidal and stuff, and I just thought that was just a good role for Bruce. He got to you could tell he kind of gave a damn in that movie, where you see some of his paycheck. You can tell when Bruce is a paycheck movie and when he's not. You know what I mean? So that one seemed like he
Chris.
actually cared, and
I don't think I'm
recommend
trying to. I'm putting it in my watch list, but I don't remember if I've ever seen it, and if I did, I forgot everything about it. So rewatching it would be like seeing it for the first time. So I'm gonna have
mark it down for Timmy visit.
Tim visit.
Okay, all right, a Tim visit. I'll
Yeah.
write it on the list.
Along with
Hostage.
Sahara.
Along with what?
Sahara.
Along with Sahara.
Sahara, yeah.
Then there was the animated movie. I do remember this floating around at the time. Robots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
What was it called?
Wasn't
Which one?
Ewan
Robot.
McGregor a voice
Robots.
in that?
Yes,
Didn't
he was
he
the
do-
main. He was the main one.
Okay, yeah.
Really?
I saw that either.
I
Oh.
bought it like 6 times and I still never watched it. So I don't. Maybe
Oh
one year
my
I'll
gosh.
get to it.
Like glutton for punishment on wasting money.
He
Yeah.
loves. I mean, he's got like probably the biggest DVD and Blu-ray, just movie in general library ever. I bet you've got more than Blockbuster Video had.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
Corey? More than Corey?
Yes, more than Corey.
And I'll have it set up like I actually can display a majority of it. But even then, I'm already thinking I'm like maxed out on room. And I haven't even unpacked. So it's
Probably
like,
are.
Eric, you need to make like a video store or something like
That's what I was telling him.
Corey did.
yeah.
That video of his tour of his Blockbuster store.
Yeah. I actually bought a bunch of wanting to do that. I bought a bunch of knickknacks and things from closing video stores over like the last 10-ish years when the exodus kind of started to hit, and they've just been sitting in boxes, and I've got all these posters. I just don't have. I have more posters than walls, wall space. You know what I mean? So I don't even know what to freaking do with them. But I'm gonna have to kind of make some hard decisions. What do I want to hang up? And I don't want to just hang up classic stuff. I want to pick things that are kind of things that I like that might stand out a little bit. Like I'll probably even have a Steven Seagal poster on there, and that's like a highbrow no. So I want to have fun stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It's got to be marked for death or nothing else.
Yeah, marked for death. And then there's the Out for Justice poster that used to be in video stores all over. Like I remember seeing that as a kid, but having no idea, like what, And those are some of his more enjoyable. That people tend to they get very bad reviews, but fans like them. You know what I mean? So.
Was it Hard to Kill? Was that his too as well?
Yeah, Hard to Kill. Pretty much any three-word title you can think of was his.
There you go, 3-word title. That's true.
Out for Justice, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death.
I was getting ready to say that. Yeah.
But he can break arms like nobody. I'm telling you, man. You watch this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, out of no Under Siege, and everyone was like, "It's only 2 words. It's only 2 words."
Right, an executive decision as well. But then he didn't last in that one very long, did he?
No, man.
I remember being so shocked by that.
I was surprised.
Like, what? So was I.
Well, then we had The Glimmer Man, Fire Down Below,
That's what I was going to say.
On Deadly Ground. Keep going. You know what I mean? So
maybe that was what killed him. He switched from 3-word titles to 2, and then just done.
Yeah,
that was a mistake.
That's honestly a legit theory because his first direct-to-video film was 2 words: The Patriot. So
didn't work.
Not kidding. That he filmed that one in Montana on his sorry about that. Fireworks.
Whoa.
See, I live below Indian reservation, and so 4th of July starts usually middle of May. I apologize for that. That's scary, but it woke everyone up. So
that's awesome.
Oh wow.
Middle of June, I think you mean.
It is May, man. No, this goes on every night.
For a month.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So the sequel.
Sorry, way off
horror,
track there. Sorry.
The sequel to the horror movie, also based off of a Japanese horror movie of the same name, The Ring 2.
Ringu 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't even seen that one.
You what? Okay.
He hasn't seen the second.
I've seen the first one.
Watched the first
I just haven't seen the second one. Which
Part
also had
2.
the girl from King Kong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have been. I love those films because I even. Sorry, Jeff. Apologize. I've showed you since. I got pictures of a lot of the filming locations for Ring 2 because they filmed it in Astoria, Oregon, and Seaside. which is one of our local destinations, tourist destinations on the Pacific Coast. We all go to Astoria. It's the Goonies town.
Isn't that where Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah, actually, right down. Some of it was filmed on the same street. You just have to go the other end of the street.
I did not know up there.
But yeah, I got pictures of the house. And if anything, that movie, if you're gonna watch it, I know that The Ring 2 is really interesting because I go all fanboy on these J horror films. The Ring 2, they cut out I swear almost a half hour from the theatrical cut, and it makes the film almost feel redundant. It just feels like a blah film. Ring 2,
I do want to watch the original ones.
When you watch the unrated version, which they add everything in, it gives it more purpose, and it feels like, okay, so there's actually a purpose to what I'm watching. But then conversely, you've just invested 2 hours and 15 minutes into it to get that little payoff. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to recommend it to kind of everyday people. But at least there's one good line that I love in that movie, and it's when Naomi Watts says to Samara, "I'm not your fucking mommy," and then kicks her down the well. And it's I love that line. It's just, "I'm not your fucking mommy." Sorry, that's vulgar, but I don't know. I thought it was a good line. And so, I got a soft spot for it. Likes it's local, and so I can look around and go, "Oh, I recognize that. But
yeah,
maybe with that removed, it's not a particularly well-revered film, and I understand why. So, anyways.
Was The Wedding Crashers a 2005 movie?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Kim Possible the movie.
I saw that on the first date with one of my girlfriends, so we saw The Wedding Crashers.
Oh, okay. Because it's referred to here as a horror film.
Amityville Horror, yeah, with
the remake.
I don't want to go to Amityville. I don't know.
Ryan Reynolds.
It sounds like a bad time.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go there.
Remember Heard lives.
Yeah.
Amityville, that's right.
You will give a shit. Sorry, more shots fired.
Wow, jeez.
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
It's okay.
But it'll keep you on your toes.
Yeah,
it will. Startle me. This was the remake, the Amityville horror, the one with Ryan Reynolds and Melissa George, I think.
Yep.
I liked it okay. I thought it was all right. I can't remember if I saw it before or after the original, honestly.
The original took liberties with the story, a few, but it was actually pretty faithful if you've read the book. But this one really took liberties with it. The whole, I thought it was juvenile, the catch 'em and kill 'em thing. I thought that was just kind of like.
I just remember enjoying it, but maybe a rewatch would change my mind.
I thought Ryan Reynolds did good. He was really trying to expand himself as an actor because he was kind of the cocky, heartthrobby thing. You know what I mean? And here he and then if you notice in this one he didn't wear a shirt half the movie, so that was really he came through with that.
He came through, didn't he?
And if you notice, he was completely he had no upper body hair, but he had hair on his face.
That's right.
So he kind of switched it. It was kind of an interesting take, but I don't think that was particularly accurate for the 70s because I've seen a lot of Burt Reynolds movies, and masculine males, they love their chest hair. So I think they could have done a little bit better on keeping
was this
era
supposed
accurate.
to take place in the 70s? Did it take take place also in the 70s? Okay, I couldn't remember that part about it.
Yeah. But no, it's a decent movie, and it seems to be another one that got horrible reviews, but people tend to like it. So.
Yeah. The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's a shift, but that's a pretty funny comedy.
Yeah, it's my autobiography. I remember that one well.
Especially the waxing scene. Oh my god.
Oh
yeah.
I always like the interactions between him and the boss. What's that woman's name? Jane. Is it Jane?
Jane, yeah. Lynch? Is it Jane Lynch? Or?
Yeah, Jane Lynch. Dude, she the way she delivered a lot of those lines was funny, especially the ones where she's talking about she pretty much, as a young girl, she had sexual encounters with the gardener.
Yeah.
Dude, that whole her back and forth was really, really funny.
Oh yeah, she was great. I loved her, and Yeah,
she
what are
started-
you
she
going to
started
do, assistant manager?
She
You know,
starts
and-
singing. She starts singing him that song in Spanish. She's like, "Cuando tú estás en mi cuarto, no diga nada." This guy's supposed to be saying, "When you're in my room, don't say anything." She's supposed to be 12 and he's like 20 or something. I don't know.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
wow.
Did you say Granada?
No, cuando tú estás en mi cuarto, no diga nada. Don't say anything.
Deegan. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a funny movie.
National Treasure.
And you forget that little Kevin Hart was in that movie. One of the early scenes. You remember that? Well, one of his early roles when he was kind of popping up in little. You forget that he was in these things.
I don't even remember.
When they're working at that like Circuit City, it was a thinly dressed up Circuit City, if you remember that. But they all worked in that electronics store, and he came in there and he was trying to get the homie hookup because he was black and he thought that if he went to the black salesman he'd get a black discount or whatever.
Completely
And
forgot he was in there.
yeah.
Ong Bak. We talked about Ong Bak last time, I think. Didn't we?
You did.
National Treasure was from 2004, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I was getting a little confused. Ong Bak is 2005. I think that's right. Is that one that you recommended, Colin? We never watched that one.
It might have come out America 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good
right, because
movie.
it was that one was a Blockbuster exclusive.
Serenity was 2005, right?
Yes, Serenity was as well.
Okay.
But yeah, Tony Jaa, man, he was pretty gnarly when he came out in that movie.
Yeah,
some of the stuff he was doing was pretty intense. There's another movie he came out of. It was a few years later, and he does this scene, and I can't. Maybe you might know, Colin, but he comes and he does this fighting scene where he basically is going up like nine flights of stairs.
Yeah,
and it's all one shot. Man, that one scene made me out of breath.
Absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's amazing. It's one of the greatest action shots. I mean, it really is one take. And it's so, I watched them, they had to rehearse it so much. Like, if he messed up one thing, they have to, cut, reset. And,
oh, wow.
It's this, I mean, he fights his way almost like a spiral.
Staircase.
Not even, kind of staircase, but kind of like big-ass building. And there's a restaurant on top. And he gets his way into the restaurant. He's just fighting his whole way. And, he's throwing dudes, over the rail. Because in the center, it's straight down to the ground. So it's so good. And that movie also has some other really good, when he's fighting the dudes with the water and the fire. It's some really good one-on-one fighting. Those two movies, Ong Bak and The Protector, I still think they're two of the
Protector. That's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah. That scene is pretty phenomenal, especially because when you're watching it, you could tell he is legit tired. When he gets to the top, you're like, dude, this guy is beat. And again,
down.
and if they mess up anything, they're breaking glass and everything, they've got to clean it all up.
Oh wow,
yeah, it was what a performance. That's almost like Oscar nominated right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fucking historic. In terms of action cinema, that's as good as it gets. It can only be equaled in a sense. I think it's, for me, in my opinion, I don't know how you really top that. It's so good. And yeah, I think I remember behind the scenes, one of the takes, the camera ran out of film just a minute or something from it, and they had to redo the whole, he didn't even screw up. They didn't have enough film in the thing. So yeah, that's
that sucks. I found it's available. That particular one is available for free at 3 locations, so I'm gonna have to check that one out. I don't think I've ever seen that.
And I always call it Tom Yum Goong because I try to be fancy. That's the full title, and which is the soup restaurant. That movie is it's embarrassingly bad. Some of the acting scenes, the non-Tony Jaa scenes, when the cops are talking or something, it's comically bad. But to me, that doesn't mean this is a bad. I'm sure American critics would see this and what is this trash? Dude, it's all about the 9-minute non-cut actions. It's about some of the scenes in there are so good. Even the opening scene when he just flies on. I don't know if you remember Tim, where it's a big shot and the dude's standing, and then Tony Jaa just flies across the scene and knees him in the face.
Oh yeah, dude, he's notorious for these fast sprints, jump knee to the face, and I just keep thinking to myself, how does the guy like the stunt guy take that and not be dead? Because it's gross. It's gross. Looks terrible.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. Man.
Yeah.
Did we get the name of that one? That's not Ong Bak, is it?
That's
The Protector. Okay. Yeah, I just put that in my letterbox.
It was interesting because like the thing that I found interesting about those movies and maybe it's just the martial arts style in general was like you had your Jackie Chan, you had Bruce Lee, and you had Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal, and they did a lot of like kicks and punches and headbutts, whatever. But Tony Jaa does like knees and elbow strikes for so many different things, and it's so wildly creative that that's what made it interesting.
That was before I knew what Muay Thai was.
Yeah,
Tony, who hits you with his toes. Oh boy, that's awesome.
Simon.
Yeah, he jumps on this one guy's head and he literally elbow strikes him on the top of his cranium like 9 times. It's like
he jumps. He'll jump up and like kind of sit on, like knee lock your torso and then hammer down your skull. Like,
I wonder how many people he's hurt in the course of films.
Only 3 guys died throughout the filming. It says it at the end. It says it at the end of the movie.
No, it doesn't. Okay, wait. I almost believed you for a second. You almost got me. He played in the Expendables 4. I don't think I've seen it.
Wait, 4?
He hasn't come out yet, but he's in it.
I thought I heard. Okay. I was like, I don't remember it coming out yet. But yeah,
he has to replace Jet Li. You know, I would have win.
Yeah, I think he said he was done doing the movies.
Yeah, Protectors. So.
Yeah.
But if you follow direct-to-video action films, like I'm a aficionado of those B movies, but Tony Jaa he's pretty active. He's been in a lot of movies with some with Dolph Lundgren, like Skin Trade, and then.
I was just looking at, just scrolling past that one. It just showed that here.
I've seen some of his more recent, a few things with Tony Jaa, and I feel like he just kind of fell off. I don't know if his abilities fell off, but it never. I feel like he peaked right away because they even made an Ong Bak 2 and an Ong Bak 3, and those were good, but each one was just a little less exciting than the first 2 movies. And then, I don't know, I think one of the newer ones he made, I saw it, and it just wasn't even, nothing about it excited me.
Oh, he was in Monster Hunter.
Really?
That one, I talked about that. That one was fun, even though we didn't get to see him be a badass martial artist as much as the originals. Him and Mila, like I said, it was like a revival of 2005 for me. Because in that, 2005, those were two of my favorite actors ever. And so Monster Hunter was kind of almost nostalgic to see these 2 leads just fighting monsters together. It was fun.
Okay.
I'll tell you what Matt and I used to do, Sin, when we were younger. We used to go into a Blockbuster when those were still around.
Yeah.
And we used to go in and we'd look for the new direct-to-video Dolph Lundgren movie, and we'd grab the box and we'd flip it around and just read the synopsis. And every one, like we could grab like 8 of them and put them back to back and read one after the other, and they were literally all the same.
The same,
except for like a profession was changed or a location was changed, and it was always be like Harold Thomas has to come out of retirement to save the world. And we would do that, those 80s voice narrator. We would always read the
the trailer, the trailer guy.
Yeah, we would do that. And we're like, in a world where only one man. Yeah. That was how we got our enjoyment.
That's funny.
I missed the Blockbuster.
I know.
I love Dolph Lundgren.
There was this movie that I watched a few years back, and it was very low budget, but I thought the concept was really interesting. It reminded me a bit of Fallen, Timothy, where like this spirit would jump from one body to the next.
Oh,
and I thought it was actually pretty good, but I can't remember the name of it now.
Don't kill it.
Yeah, I was going to say don't let it die, but I was like, no, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, it was the 3 words again.
Yep, it's a winning formula.
It is success.
Yeah, well, that wasn't Steven Seagal. Oh my gosh, this idiot.
No, it's Dolph Lundgren, and it's got quite a few horror alumni. Well, your average person won't recognize him, but Todd Farmer had a role in there. He was one of the possessed guys. He did a lot of Halloween. He originally wrote the third Rob Zombie Halloween.
Oh, okay.
They were supposed to conclude that one, that ended up never going into production because Dimension literally ran out of money. And then the girl, she was in the first Halloween. She was Linda, or the Rob Zombie, the first Rob Zombie Halloween. She was Linda. I forget her name.
Oh, okay. I don't remember who else was in there. I just remember him and that it was this interesting concept, and I actually really liked it. Despite its low budget, I thought it was pretty good.
He's done some good stuff if you watch Dolph Lundgren's, but this 2005 were not his good direct-to-video years. They were all in Eastern Europe being filmed, like all those action guys.
Oh, okay.
Anybody heard of Dumb? Is it Domino? The prequel to the Exorcist?
Dominion.
Dominion. Okay, that's what I was thinking. If it was Dominion.
Yeah, that one was interesting because that was The Exorcist 4 as they filmed it. Paul Schrader. He directed it.
Okay.
And Warner Brothers saw the cut of it and was like, "Oh, we can't release this. This is crazy." So they went and got Rennie Harlan. You might recognize that guy. He did like Cliffhanger, Deep Blue Sea, Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Elm Street 4. Anyways, he was a very flashy MTV type director, and they got him to go reshoot like I think 75% of the film, and they had to recast some roles, and then that's what they released in 2004 as Exorcist 4: The Beginning. But Dominion was the original version that they wouldn't release. So
that's funny because that was playing on maybe Pluto TV or Shudder or something not too long ago, and I had it playing and I was like, "What is this movie?" Because I saw it was Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah,
and it takes place. Looks like it takes place like in the 70s or whatever, and so I went, "Wow, how old is this film?" And then I saw it was like not terribly old. I've never heard of this
Dominion's
movie.
Not very polished. It's a little rough for your average person. I mean, they kind of polished it a bit, but I mean, they just never completed production on it, so they did the best you can't fully finish a film that was never intended to be completed. But
right,
it's just an interesting actually examination to see how they can take a property, a film, shoot it one way, and then come in after the fact and think we're going to tell the same basic story, but we're going to tell it totally different, with the different horror beats and everything like that, gore, So it's just interesting to me how you can take the same story and tell it two entirely different ways, but still tell the same story.
Right.
So those movies are really, if anything, interesting to watch. So I read the book and everything too, which the book follows the Rennie Harlan version, which is basically just gore and jumps. You know what I mean? It wasn't a character film. So
yeah. Okay.
But,
let's see.
There's something called Dark Water.
Oh,
are you doing
Jennifer Connelly. You might want to chime in, Sin.
Connelly.
What?
Dark Water.
Horror film with Jennifer. I watched it just because she was in it.
But also, Simon said something.
It's based off.
I was asking.
Go ahead.
I was just asking Colin if he was doing something illegal.
Oh.
No, I almost want to interrupt. I want to interrupt because out in the backyard, some stray cat had kittens. So now there's 4 kittens just playing in our backyard. There's wild kittens just wrestling and running around, and I'm like, oh my god, it's awesome.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could turn the. I wish you guys could see it. I don't think it would.
So Dark Water.
It's funny because you know how The Ring is a Japanese.
This is a remake of
a Japanese film too,
written by the same author as The Ring too. So.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Now I'm curious.
I don't remember if I watched this or not. I thought there was a movie with Jennifer Connelly and I know, right? Jennifer Connelly and Ben Kingsley. I thought that was a horror movie as well.
No, it's House of the Sand and Fog. It's more drama.
Okay, then it's not. I'm confusing that with Dark Water, probably. Oh my gosh, this.
Oh,
idiot.
Here we go with this guy. Come on.
I know. I keep.
It was the Trolls name that made me laugh.
Oh,
cheap sex dating. Just fuck girls.
It's a bot.
Okay, all right.
I like Dark Water. I watched that recently. It's actually really like for a drama it's a drama with horror elements. It was marketed as a straight horror movie because the J-horror was really popular back then. But it's actually kind of a drama film, and it's got a great cast. Like John C. Reilly's in it. He plays kind of a slime bag.
Tim Roth.
Yeah, Tim Roth too. Yeah, I mean you'll recognize a lot of people, and it's actually pretty decent. It's filmed in a little island in New York, I guess, which I didn't know about until seeing this movie. That you can only get to by the little like the what do you call it, the trolley in the air? I don't know what the heck they're called over there.
Oh, but, like the sky.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
That's the only way to get to the little island.
A gondola.
Like those sky. What do they call those? Is that
like
what
in
they
ski
call
slope type thing?
Oh, yeah,
like
a gondola.
Yeah.
I guess so.
But anyways, it's kind of interesting.
Roosevelt Island is what it calls it.
Yeah. But it's a good production. She actually does a good job. I like the character of her and the way it played out. So I know you like Jennifer. So
I do.
You may.
I do like Jennifer, and I'll bet I've seen it, but I just have no memory at all of it.
I remember that show. Yeah.
Oh,
I kind of inspired one of the stories I'm trying to write. Kind of took elements of that Dark Water. That was really cool to me.
So there's several
Cable
other
cars.
Cable cars.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cable cars. Yeah, that one.
I think they featured cable cars in that movie Nighthawk, if you ever saw that, with Stallone and Rutger Hauer, Lindsay Wagner, Billy D. Williams.
Oh, long time ago.
He took the cable car hostage in New York, and I just popped in my head. I'm like, I think that's the exact same one. So.
Oh.
I want to mention Aeon Flux.
No. That was 2005?
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Kind of a bad movie, but I liked it a lot. I watched it.
It's because Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I really.
I take it you don't like her?
That movie was bad, bro. That movie was bad.
I know it's bad, but it was.
I don't know. I just
one of those.
I get one of those vibes.
I think it's a good MTV film. Like it's a visually impressive. Like it's very watchable. Like on that.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like the Ultraviolet movie where it's really not about the story. It's not about the story. It's just I like looking at
the visuals.
Right.
I like it's all in this weird future-y world, and Charlize, and it's like kind of hot and sci-fi and just crazy and weird.
Is that also Dougray Scott? Is he also in? Is he like?
I think
who plays the main bad? Like there's.
That sounds.
Johnny Lee Miller.
Oh, maybe that's. Now I don't know.
I don't remember now. I've seen it. It's like been playing on Pluto TV a time or two, but I don't. There was some guy in there I recognized.
It's a bad movie, but yeah, like Ultraviolet. I think someone just had the DVD. I got like a burned copy of the DVD, and I just ended up watching it a few times. Just I like put it on when I'm stoned. I'm always stoned. It's just it's not the story or anything. I don't remember anything really about the story. It's just that it's fun to look at. And honestly, the MTV show, I watched that recently. That was kind of more. That was weird, trippy MTV. I like that trippy stuff. That just doesn't make sense. It's almost. I don't know. Usually stuff is too obvious. I like when it's like, I don't know what's going on, but it seems cool.
I just imagine the market. It's watchable.
Yeah. You'll love it.
Did anybody hear of The Devil's Rejects? That's a Rob Zombie movie.
Rob Zombie.
Oh. That's a nasty movie, man.
All I know is like this was remember how we were talking before about how like Jude Law had like his year, like where just like everything was Jude. Like this year, I think it was like what Heath Ledger was just in like loads of shit.
2005?
Yeah, he was like in the Brothers Grimm, and also Brokeback Mountain, and he was in, and then there was something else.
He was in Get Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, okay.
That was a stunt double.
He was in the Lords of Dogtown, which I actually really like that movie.
That was 2005 as well. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he was just in a load of crap this year alone, just out of nowhere.
The Brothers Grimm was kind of funny.
I like that movie.
Yeah,
I like Lords of Dogtown.
I think I liked it a little bit more than Van Helsing, to be honest.
What's
interesting though,
yeah.
I got to take off in a minute because I got to go home. But like two of my favorite movies actually haven't been mentioned yet.
Okay.
I know one of them you really like, Sen. That's The Island. That movie.
Yes.
I was going to bring that up.
Good.
Super fun. Super fun.
Yeah, that movie was good.
And then another just like really, really good feel-good movie. Obviously based in reality is Cinderella Man. I really like that movie a lot.
Okay, the Nicolas Cage movie?
No,
No.
Cinderella Man was with Russell Crowe, where he was the boxer.
It's
and,
a true story about a
Oh,
boxer
okay, yeah, okay.
during the
The
Depression
Depression
years,
hit.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Depression hit, and he lost everything, and then he was pretty much fighting so much that he was fighting hurt, and then lost everything. Didn't have any job because he's working on the docks, like slowly picked up random spots. But it was kind of his resurgence that was the story. I don't know. It's a Ron Howard movie, and it was done really, really well.
Yeah, Serenity was brought up very briefly. It was mentioned in the chat. We touched on that. That was actually a pretty good film. Now that after I watched
Yes, the island
show.
is that old.
Yes, isn't that hard to believe? I really love the island. Tim, Mom actually wanted to see that movie.
Really?
Mark it down for the visit.
Yeah.
We'll watch it again. So it's funny because she only wanted to see it because it must have been mentioned, in her conspiracy channel things that she watches. I don't know why it was
She
mentioned.
wanted to
Probably
watch V
because
for Vendetta,
Yeah.
and she also wanted to watch Matrix.
yeah, she's
Because
brought
of
up
only those-
Matrix because talks about red pill and blue pill. I'm like, Mom, that's not your thing.
That's like
It's
2
not-
seconds of the film. And she
I've
thinks
been
it's gonna-
trying to get her to watch the MCU movies.
No, she's not in that.
All you have to
I mean,
do
she's
is
not
say,
into
look.
that.
All you got to do is say, look, you got to watch it because Thanos is the embodiment of the Democratic Party. That's all you got to say, and she'll be like, oh, let me watch
I'll
this.
watch it. It's like, oh,
I'll
geez.
watch this.
Oh, I swear. Yeah, these
And-
things.
and
I
then
know
all you have to
why
do
it
is
was
just-
brought up. Yeah, it's
just-
because of the conspiracy of what's going on at the island. If nobody's seen it, I won't mention it. But that was a fun film.
Yeah.
That was very that was exciting. I thought it was well done. Michael Mann, so of course all these explosions.
Michael
and
Bay.
chase- Michael Bay.
yeah,
Sorry, Michael Mann.
yeah, like the
All
whole
these
thing with the
explosions and
road.
chases, but just
The
really
road scene, like it's like, oh yeah, Michael Bay has to insert it somewhere.
You mean with all the stuff falling out on the road like that? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
also had that good actor, what's his name, the mercenary.
Oh, the guy from
Jamal
Gladiator.
Holsu?
Yeah,
Jamal Holsu?
yeah, that guy. I can't
Is
say
he
his name.
French
Save
or
my life.
British?
I don't know.
I don't remember where he's from.
I saw The Island in theaters. I remember at the same theater in Santa Fe, I saw Charlie and the Chocolate that summer. And yeah, I
I
really
wish
liked
I'd seen it on the big screen.
it. Was a good one. I was happy.
That whole scene with I don't want to give too much, but the whole scene with the trade off of that thing that he had on his hand. Remember?
The bracelet
The mercenary
thing.
comes up and it's two of them.
Yeah,
It's been so long, I've forgotten a lot of that.
you
but-
should rewatch it. It's really
should, yeah.
fun, and I thought it was. I never forgot the part where Scarlett Johansson's character. They're so sheltered because they don't know anything, and so then when they are exposed to stuff and they're exposed to these idioms. Like straight up, when the bartender asked her, like she wanted her drink straight up, she just like was looking up at the ceiling.
They said that was the scene where they said, "Where's he at?" Oh, he's in the can. There's
Yeah, he's
how-
like taking
how
a
did-
dump. He's taking a dump in a can. I gotta
how
go.
did-
He's
how
taking
did
a
he get
dump in a can.
I gotta say, Scarlett was pretty good in this movie.
Funny.
Yeah, she was. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yeah, is
Mhm.
really good.
I think
Really good.
like out of Michael Bay's like movies, the first Transformers is still number 1, and then The Island is number 2.
I still like The Rock. The Rock is a great Michael Bay movie too.
Yeah.
Not a great
yeah.
Michael Bean movie.
It is a great Michael Bay. There's a lot of mics in that movie.
Derek,
lot of
you
mics.
got to get over this and
Yeah.
try to watch it all the way through. See
It's a
if you can.
process. I'm
make it.
grieving.
He
Derek,
likes to work. He likes to work with Bean. So see, Sean Bean, Michael Bean, done.
Sid, the March of the Penguins came out this year. I do remember seeing that, but
That
I
was
thought
that
that was,
documentary.
yeah, I thought it was 06 that it came out. I mean, it might have came out maybe in Britain first.
Are you confusing it with Happy Feet? Was that 06?
No.
Maybe it
it's
came out in
not-
December or something. I don't know.
This is July. I thought
July.
it was 06.
That was a good documentary.
Kind of sad though because they go through a lot.
I remember the eggs. You know how they had to keep the eggs
Yeah.
from like it couldn't get out from underneath them because it was so cold. It would
And
would
then
kill
one
them.
of the mothers got killed, and I don't know what ended up happening to that one baby penguin because the mothers actually go look for the food to
Right.
bring to the babies,
Right.
and she didn't come
I
back.
don't remember if it was. I don't know. If
Yeah,
it was a
Morgan
serious
Freeman.
question.
I
Was
do
it
remember
narrated
Morgan
by him?
Freeman. Yep, he
Okay.
narrated.
Oh, Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
I remember
that
that one.
movie. It's so old. I didn't realize it was that old. I think we went to see that on the big screen.
With Dad.
Yeah.
But before that, it was a Madagascar special thing about the penguins that I also like.
Oh, yeah. Those penguins were funny.
Four Brothers.
I saw that not too long ago. For the first time ever, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Let's see, what does that have, Mark?
It's got
Mark
Chiwetel
Wahlberg.
Ejiofor in it, and it's got Mark Wahlberg. It's got that other country guy. He does movies and country singer.
Dwight Yoakam?
No, he's a young guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh.
Goodness gracious.
I forgot who I was. I remember
do you know Derek?
Mark Wahlberg.
No, I'm drawing a blank. I remember I saw Four Brothers and I liked it, but I remember reading that it was a remake of the John Wayne film, The Four Sons of Katie Elder, which I didn't see the resemblance there at all, but they said it was credited as a remake of that, and you're like, oh, okay.
I didn't know. He was the youngest adoptive brother that like ends up dying.
Yeah.
The one that got shot.
I can picture him. Like I can picture him right now, but I don't know.
Hold on.
I'll look it up. I was gonna. Okay, you're gonna do it. All right, you'll find
Probably
it.
Garth Brooks. I don't know.
No, definitely not. No,
I know.
No,
There's a movie we talked about before that came out this year, Domino. Keira Knightley.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
directed.
That was based on a true story.
Also,
Yeah.
True person.
there we go. His name is Okay, so this guy said his name is Garrett Hedlund, and he reminds me a lot of goodness gracious, the guy from The Gentleman. He's also King Arthur, Sons of Anarchy guy.
Oh, that dude. He played in the movie that came out recently. Charlie Hunnam.
There you go.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yep.
He reminds me a lot. I mean, I don't know why I always get those two guys confused. So Garrett Hedlund, if you look at him, he's very similar to him.
Yeah. No, I can see it, especially when he had kind of like facial hair and long. Yeah, I can picture it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
There's a war movie called The Great Raid.
Yeah, Great Raid.
I never saw it.
That's not the Spike Lee one, is it? I got confused because there was a couple big war movies that came out, I think, during this year that like got thrown away. I think Benjamin Bratt was in one of them, and The Great Raid. They didn't get any due. They're big budget, and
That's the Benjamin Bratt one. Is The Great Raid.
Okay.
And
Spike Lee did one. Sorry.
I'm trying to see who.
I'm
John
going off
Dahl
old man
was
memory
the
here.
director of this one. Was John Dahl?
Yeah, that's.
It's based on a true story because I remember watching. You remember that documentary about? Was this called Shootout?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did an episode about that raid.
Okay.
To rescue the POWs in a
500 American prisoners of war. Yeah, no, I never saw that one.
I saw it, but I remember very little about it. It was kind of unremarkable in my opinion. When you said they rescued all the POWs, because I couldn't even remember the plot, and I'm like, oh, that's right. But at least I remembered Benjamin Bratt was in it, so you know.
Yeah, you got that one right.
You got the things that matter.
There's something called The Cave.
Yeah, I wrote that down, but
Was that the horror movie?
Yes.
That was a horror movie I liked a lot.
It was actually creepy, and
that was one I really liked.
Yeah, and Cole Hauser was in it when they tried to make him an action, like they tried to make him a star. They gave him a push, and it never worked out. He didn't get it. He was just didn't get it. And they had Piper Perabo, if you remember her.
Piper, yeah.
But she was kind of fizzling out at that point. I think Morris Chestnut was in it as well.
It was just a good, monsters coming to get you. And they're in a cave and monsters trying to
I get that one mixed up with The Descent.
Yeah, they were splodonking.
Wasn't it almost the same thing? Weren't they
pretty much?
That's why I get it mixed up with the.
Well, The Descent was spoilers. Was about these like cave dwellers, like these people that had kind of evolved and never came out into the world. So they were kind of feral and they had little deformities and stuff. But the cave, they were like actual demons. People turned into demons from hell based,
Oh, okay.
So the creatures you saw were previous.
So it was like Florida versus DC.
Yes, yeah, it was a swamp, and Nancy Pelosi was their god.
Okay. I'm gonna have to see.
Recommend that one for mom.
She'll,
Yeah, right.
don't worry, Nancy will pop up at the end any day. You see, just follow the trail of scotch. You know?
Oh, Lena Headey was in it.
Yeah.
A Sound of Thunder. Has anybody heard of that one?
Oh yeah,
that was a I don't know. It was a really, really neat concept, but it was just not well executed, in my opinion.
No, and that one also had a really bad production history. You can obviously click the Wikipedia and read on it or whatever, but I remember when it actually happened.
Oh, that was based on a short story.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Derek. Yeah.
It almost didn't get finished because the company making it went bankrupt, ran out of money, and they had floods. If you remember the floods, like I think it was in 2002 and 2003, they had some really bad Eastern European floods, and it like wiped out entire sets. And so they almost didn't complete the film. And if you notice, you watch it, a lot of the special effects, even for 2005, are like really freaking shoddy. Like stuff they didn't. Yeah.
Especially the very end when it goes like, to that, when everyone like, because it's going up through species as things are changing. Yeah. When it finally gets to the humans changing, it was like,
what the hell? I will say the baboon creatures that like they were all fluorescent and glow with all those things look good and they look creepy. And thank you, I appreciate that. So all that priceless knowledge would pay off somehow. I'm just like Kelly Bundy,
Jeopardy.
Yeah, I remember reading the short story about this. Interesting concept, but
and Edward Burns. I actually like Edward Burns as an actor, and it's kind of a pity because you see like the potential this story had, and it just didn't work out, man. I like Edward Burns. I think he's a good actor. I enjoy him, and just got a shitty deal on that movie.
Have any of you seen The Proposition? That is a really good movie
with Guy Pearce.
An Australian Western drama that. I forgot. I'm looking through. I'm glad I found it. I forgot about it.
Like I'm looking.
Probably top 5 of it. It's going on my top 5 of the year for this.
Yes,
year.
it with Guy Pearce. Yeah.
Guy Pearce, Australian.
Ray Winstone.
Years ago, Ray Winstone, and
Emily Watson,
just the way that it's a really good movie. I don't know how to describe it.
It's got really high ratings on Letterboxd with the audience.
Really great. It's shot really well. It's really serious.
Mark it down for the visit.
I got it on my watch list. I just added it.
Like Guy Pearce is awesome. I think it's great. Guy Pearce.
Do you think your mom would like to watch the Exorcism of Emily Rose?
I was going to mention the Exorcism of Emily Rose. That's a horrific story. I don't know if she'd be interested to see that, but that's pretty terrible. In fact, the true crime podcast that I listened to, Case File, it covered that story.
Yeah.
Really terrible.
But it's cool how they presented that one, not in the way you'd expect it to be. Like it was the court case, like it was kind of interesting take on. A lot of people like that one, so she may like it. I don't know.
Definitely watch The Proposition though.
Proposition
I've got
is
that marked down for sure. Yeah,
it didn't get any notice when it came out, but it built over time, and now it's got a reverie. So.
Oh, it's available in a lot of places for free.
Good.
So we should have no trouble finding
it.
Send me the list or add them to the wish list for Voodoo Sin, and then I'll see if I can find them on there as well.
Okay. But there's like a lot of outlets that this can be found on.
Yeah,
I know. For $2, it's fine.
Well, I mean, the DVD to digigital.
Yeah, the disc digital that way.
Okay, all right.
Well, I have the actual disc, so that was I never have to worry.
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage movie.
Sure you do. You have all the discs, Derek.
When the Iron Herder left, he said, "So long and thanks for all the fish." Has anyone seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
The Hitchhikers, I love that movie.
Someone mentioned Hitchhiker, So Long Hitchhiker. I have never watched that because it looked too ridiculous and out there, so I never checked it out.
I think it's.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know what 42 means?
Everything. It's the answer to the universe.
No.
It's Jackie Robinson's number.
It's the answer to the universe, just as they say.
Nope. I've never.
Sam Rockwell is really funny in that movie.
He really is. What wasn't the robot? Oh my goodness, was it Alan Rickman?
Mm-hmm.
he was the robot in
Oh.
there. Yeah, he was funny.
Alan Rickman's good in anything.
I can't remember his name.
And Bilbo Baggins, whatever his name is.
Elijah. Oh
No.
Martin
no, the
Freeman.
other guy, the guy
Martin
who played
Freeman,
in.
Yeah, Martin Freeman.
Oh, I thought you meant the older
Bilbo.
version of Bilbo Baggins, the dude from Hell. I thought
When
that's who you were referring to.
When Sam Rockwell's like, I got a spaceship or something. I can't remember the exact line, but it's something like that, and it's that cracks me up a lot.
Was Alan Rickman the paranoid android or something like that? Like,
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Yeah, the paranoid android. That's what it was.
Yeah,
he was funny.
Wasn't that
Actually,
based on a
I
book?
like Alan Rickman in Dogma, to be honest with you, as the Metatron. He cracked me up.
Oh, I forgot he was in Dogma.
Yeah. I am the Metatron, the only voice of God. I am the Metatron.
I like the whole 42 is the answer, because to me, I'm always like philosophizing, and I'm like, there's no answer that a human's gonna understand. Like, I always think like the simplest way we could describe it to you is it might as well just be 42, because it's like we're not gonna get it. The human brain's not gonna like. There's just a sentence, and then everything makes sense. Like no, like you know what I mean. So I think it's a great joke or whatever, but insightful.
I had a weird thought the other day. If you want to get into the weeds.
Oh no.
Okay, Simon.
You want to hear it?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I'm a little bit leery, but go ahead.
Why?
Okay. Well, according to the theory of evolution, is that life adapts and specializes in a particular ecological niche, and we tend to think of that as body types. You know, humans have a big prefrontal cortex. Octopuses have 8 arms. Cows have 2 stomachs. Whatever. But the mind is a property of the body, and consciousness is a property of the mind. So it stands to reason that our consciousness is specialized but limited for our particular ecological niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was thinking, like, when you take psychedelics or DMT or pot or whatever, maybe that flooding your biochemistry with the biochemistry of something earlier on the tree of life, maybe you're sort of tapping into the
kind of
plant consciousness.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
That was your point. Okay, I was a little distrustful. I didn't know where you were going to go.
Yeah, I was a little concerned.
I was just like, wait.
I think of it as like
an interesting point, though.
And mushrooms are like plants, and when you take them, it makes you like a plant. Where it's like your human brain is thinking about the future and the past and how do I fit in. But a plant, when you're like a plant, you're just like, I'm right here, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? It like you forget about shit, and you're just like, whoa, I'm right here. Everything's cool. And I'm like, so it's like you mix in plant parts to your human parts, and you become like a plant.
You become like a plant.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Everything is just so great.
Yeah.
So cocaine is pretty much you've been mashed into bits and spun around and chopped up, and that's
like
you're on it. Yeah.
You've been turned into a tiny little person and shaken around in a Ziploc bag of cocaine.
That's what
I'm so glad for that. By the way, thank you, Tim. Perfect. Still waiting for your episode 4 or 5. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's
you
episode
told
4.
me it was 3.
Or maybe it is 3. Episode. Yeah. Episode 3.
Because I've mentioned it to multiple people, and they have indicated that they pretty sure they know what you're talking about. But no, I haven't even seen the second episode 3 of The Boys. Something happens. Don't say it.
Hold on. Close your ears. Take your earbuds out.
I'll take my earbuds out, but I don't know for how long.
Good.
Well, wait. Remember, I'm going to be editing this. I'm going to hear it. Hopefully by then I would have seen.
Okay, you take your.
Just give me a very vague hint. I'll figure it out.
I'm taking my earbuds.
They're at a table and they're having a conversation, and the Deep's involved. And Homelander has decided he brought him something to eat for dinner.
Oh yeah. Yep. That was good.
It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, you're good to go.
That acting was actually
good to
really
go.
good.
That was. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to that. It's safe. Is
Okay.
it safe? Is it safe?
Yeah, no, I haven't got. It took me forever to edit just that one episode, so I might do another episode of Cobra Kai first.
There's a movie called Lord of War, which has Nicolas Cage in it.
One of Nicolas Cage's better films, to be honest with you. Some of the best acting I've seen come out of him. Yeah, he's really good in that movie, along with Jared Leto.
Oh, he was in that too. Holy cow!
He's his brother. He's his brother.
I haven't seen that all the way through, just bits and pieces of it. I think because the subject matter didn't interest me. Really, that's probably why.
It's depressing, but it's quite an interesting. And I think it was it based on a true story? Somebody can fill me in if I'm wrong with that.
I believe it is.
Not.
No, I believe it is. I believe it is based on a true story.
Yeah, it's either it is or very loosely based, but it's still really good work out of Nick Cage on that one.
Yeah, it's a bit. I think it's it's not a great movie, but it's better than you would expect. I think going in, for me, it was. I can't wait for the new Willow. I can't wait.
Oh
yeah, I think wasn't there some sort of trailer or something recently? Because I thought I saw an image of
there was. There was.
Okay,
I'm very excited. We can make
Matt Mardigan, how are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm very good. How are you doing, Willow?
I cannot wait.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna be.
Come on.
Something called Venom came out this year.
Venom.
Yeah, just called Venom.
I saw that scanning through the IMDb. I don't know.
Is that the one that takes place in the bayou and it's
Oh, is that about a snake?
I don't know. No, it's like some backwoods hit killer or something. I thought.
Oh, hold on.
I might be wrong.
Oh, it does look like a horror type.
It's called horror.
It's like takes place in like the backwoods of the Louisiana bayou or something.
Yeah. They're chased by Mr. Jangles, a man possessed by 13 evil souls.
Yeah, it was playing. I remember in the background on the TV one time, and I was not really interested in it.
Was Hilary Swank movie?
No. No, she would. That wasn't.
You guys might hate me on this, but I'm burnt out on Walk the Line. I honestly hate that movie anymore.
I have never seen it all the way through, to be honest.
To be honest with you, everyone, I like Johnny Cash music, and I like Johnny Cash cover songs and all that kind of stuff, but after watching the movie, and then everyone would watch the movie and watch the movie, after a while, it's like, this isn't even a Johnny Cash story. It's a June Carter story, and that's all it is. It's like more of her than anything, and it just, I don't know, their interactions, I find them like more annoying than they were like cute and romantic. They were just really annoying. I hope that's not how it was in real life.
Well, I did hear that he had cheated on his first wife with June, and that's depicted in the movie. But as far as their other interactions, I have no idea.
Maybe it's just I just don't like Reese the Chin Witherspoon. I don't know.
Reese the Chin Witherspoon.
Reese the Chin.
There was an animated thing called Corpse Bride.
Oh, that was Tim Burton.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I never.
I didn't realize it was that old.
I'm not a fan.
Good, but I've never seen that.
Elm Street or that kind of gothic thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's Derek.
Derek is trying to come. He's trying to tap.
Sorry.
There you go. He's back.
He didn't want to hear me talk about Walk the Line either.
That's right. He dipped out.
It's cool that the sun is still there. I'm like, the sun just set here. There's no more sun, but you're over there.
And he's still, he's all the way over there.
They're like, oh, the sun's shining.
And I think he's frozen.
I know.
I think he's on my coast. You're on my coast, right, Derek? You're on the Pacific coast?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's still very bright. It'll be bright here till at least 8:15.
His internet is having issues. Oh, yeah, you keep freezing up, Derek. Your poor internet. That's why it keeps kicking
couple states
you off.
up from you, but yeah.
Yep. It'll stay in between.
So has anyone seen The Aristocrats?
I think so, where they interview all the comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
Nope. I thought you were talking about the
I can hear you, and you keep freezing, but I
watched it.
Was
okay, cool.
Nathan Slade? Matthew Broderick?
On DVD, so I don't really remember. But they're all talking about the joke, the filthy
I'm looking
joke.
it up.
Yeah. The Aristocrats is about a joke that comedians would tell each other in the back wings. And it's more of a challenge. It's to see how gross and disgusting and outlandish you can make the joke.
It's like a reality type of.
Yeah, it's
thing,
it's
right?
like mostly a talking heads documentary.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see that name you mentioned, Tim. Matthew Broderick. I don't see him.
Maybe that's
here.
the producer. I don't know.
Or
Maybe I'm getting
Nathan
that mixed
Lane.
up.
Yeah,
I think you're
Yeah,
thinking of the
producers.
producers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. I was tripping.
No, I haven't seen that.
but it's really good. It's just
Funny?
yeah.
They tell the same
It's-
very, very dirty, filthy joke.
Yeah, the premise
Okay.
is that there's this sort of vaudeville family and they're auditioning, and the guy's like, "So show me what you can do," and each comedian has their own take on it, and they just try to outdo each other with disgust or shock or whatever, and then the punchline is like, "And what do you call yourselves?" The Aristocrats.
Yeah. Where it's like a Norm Macdonald. It's not about the punchline. It's about the journey to the punchline.
Oh, geez, that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah, the journey is, but the point in this specific context of the journey is that you got to be as like, and then the mom was, incestual, and then they were like brought animals into it, just really gross, offensive, or I don't know, something like that, something like, whoa, I can't believe you said that, and then it's like the Aristocrats, but it's like, dude, you were just talking about all this. I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not a big fan really when people try to out. I think maybe back in the day that would maybe worked better, but I think in our generation, like there's so much trying to shock each other and stuff that it's like an easy laugh people kind of will go to like the shock. I think it can be funny, but it's more about like the awkward effect it causes, which is funny to me, like rather than just like shit and piss. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my take on it.
Flight Plan came out.
Checked it out here. Jodie Foster.
We were gonna watch Flight Plan.
Well, I wrote it down as one of the many things to watch. I don't remember a lot about it. Just I think
Jodie
her daughter
Foster,
disappears on a plane.
I mean, it's funny because two things on a plane.
I know there was Red Eye and then Flight Plan, but one we did Arturo did check out, and I was watching it as well. First time ever was V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah, we did watch that.
I feel like I wanted to love that movie, and I ended up just like kind of liking it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, just kind of
like it had all the ingredients for a movie I would love, because I love Natalie Portman. I did back then, like even more, and I love The Matrix and the Wachowskis and dystopian rebel theme. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good movie. It just felt a little bit like slow or preachy. Not preachy, but where it's like taken so seriously, it's not very fun. If that makes sense, I guess.
I think the thing I did like about the movie are just some of the scenes when he's doing his stuff.
Yeah, when he was kicking ass, that was pretty cool. Some of those scenes were pretty cool.
For sure. They did
they tried to do bullet time with like a knife though. That was just like what?
Yeah, that was kind of Soul Calibur.
I did like some of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think also
the best thing though was the conversation through the walls.
Through
when
the walls.
Natalie Portman was in prison.
She was when she was pulling out the
notes,
the little piece of paper.
The notes.
Yeah.
Trying to break her.
Yep. But I never read the graphic novel. I know it's pretty popular. It's held in very high regard.
I mean, The Mask definitely is like a big pop culture thing.
Yeah, the Guy Fawkes mask. Yeah, that in this movie.
It was adopted by Anonymous.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because of this movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was
actually.
It's it feels British to me in that it's very just kind of dreary and bleak.
Well, it does take place over there, so.
A lot of actors in there from like some of either the British shows or movies in the movie.
We kept seeing people we recognize from Sherlock, Arturo?
Yeah, Sherlock. There was another movie too. Goodness. Was it maybe? Wait. Was it Sherlock the show or the Sherlock?
Sherlock the show, because Lestrade, right?
Okay, yeah, Detective Lestrade. Yeah,
that guy was in there.
And wasn't there a Doctor Who actor in there too?
Oh gosh, I don't remember now. But we recognize
You know what I
several
just
people.
you know what I just realized though for the first time is The Island and V for Vendetta came out the same year, and it's almost like if you put them together and cut out some parts and kept some, that's like 1984 right there. It's like they both have like half the elements of 1984.
Yeah, the dystopian stuff. Yeah, brainwashing. Yeah.
I forgot. Also, Constantine came out that year.
Yeah, I've got that written down here.
Underrated, more like DC comic.
DC. I saw that only once, and I wasn't impressed with it. But I think if I rewatched it, I would like it more. That's what I think.
I think it's
Then there's
right.
the fog.
The CGI would probably still hold up, but yeah, I actually kind of like that movie.
So I didn't realize that his character, it was actually British until I listened to The Sandman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they changed him up in this movie.
A little bit.
The Batman versus Dracula animated.
Oh, was that when that came out? 2005. Yep. I remember that. That was the whole Alucard thing. That was the first, maybe the first time. No. I don't think it's the first time I've heard.
Well, Derek, real quick, Derek, Simon, Colin, Sin, Turo, I gotta dip out because I'm gonna help my wife with these crazy kids.
With your crazy munchkins. All right. Yeah. Okay. See you later. Glad you could join us. Love you.
Take care, guys. Bye.
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 Bye. Love you.
You too.
Bye. Bye.
I'm sorry. That's the way we always sign off when we talk on the phone. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. We're not on the phone. I should have said that.
I did that once to like my friend's older brother when I was a kid, and I was so embarrassed.
Sometimes I'm afraid I'm going to accidentally say that to somebody that's not in my family. Because it's just kind of so automatic. I say that to both of my brothers when we talk on the phone as we're hanging up. It's like, what if I accidentally say that to a complete stranger on the phone?
It was pretty embarrassing.
There's Doom, the video game.
Oh yeah, Semper Fi, motherfucker. That was that's The Rock, man. That was just so cool. He was really trying to branch out in that film.
Right. He was in that.
Carl
I've seen
Urban.
bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've seen the entire thing. There was also Jarhead. I remember that movie was kind of a big deal back in the day.
Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang.
Yes.
Oh, Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. We never brought up.
That's a funny movie.
That's a funny one. That's pretty smart too. Pretty.
Yeah, very.
That really surprised.
Based on a book. Do you have the book, Derek?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's the movie that got Downey Iron Man because he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his first movie after he got clean.
Yeah.
And I remember that like the companies were really skeptical about working with him. So like had this huge insurance policy in case he fell off the wagon and just, went nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
And that movie is freaking hilarious. And the plot is really intricate.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
it's really good.
Tight.
It kind of reminded me of wouldn't you say a little bit of Quentin Tarantino a little bit, just a little bit?
I mean,
well, with the different intricate storylines coming.
Shane Black wrote it, who did wrote Lethal Weapon and Predator.
That's right.
Average movie, yeah, I would say.
It had that signature wit, and the dialogue was freaking terrific in that. I mean, there's some great lines of dialogue in there, and I loved Val Kilmer because he hadn't done a whole lot of stuff really anymore. He was kind of getting if he was following down his rabbit hole to B moviedom, and that's but here he stuck out. What was really sad to me was that movie. I remember Robert Downey Jr. talking about like how he thought that was going to be his big comeback film, and then it just made no money. It got no notice when it came out, and he was really hurt by it. I remember him saying that, like, I was really disappointed that movie didn't go anywhere. And obviously it found an audience now, and like you said, it got him Iron Man. But that movie, I really think it deserved a lot more than it got, and I love it, man. I love the heck out of that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the
cut off my finger.
He was like all caught up in the fact that she messed with Chutney or whatever that guy's name was.
I can't understand how Shane Black went on to make The Predator.
That movie no one understands that freaking movie. And then with Fred Decker in there, I mean, it just, the whole movie, you're like, you had all the ingredients and you made the worst freaking thing you could possibly imagine. And I don't, I don't know. That's going to be another one for the ages, like The Exorcist 4, Dominion. How they can reshoot a movie and tell the same story in two both equally retarded ways, I guess. So
I think it must the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's got to be the writing and the acting. It's probably.
I love when Robert Downey Jr. asks him, like Val Kilmer, "Are you really whatever the Gaylord?" Remember his name was Val Kilmer's character's name was Gaylord or whatever, and he's like, "Are you really gay?" He goes, "No, I'm just so knee deep in pussy, I couldn't stand to change the name." And you're just like, "Oh, really?" Yes, I'm gay. It's like Robert Downey is a moron.
I knew he was so stupid, and Val Kilmer just like these lines that he would come up with to just like smack him down. It was really funny.
Yes, I think you're stupid. The way he
the pacing and the editing of the dialogue too was just the way they could put it all together. It was just so good. Some of the craziest off the wall stuff, like when he peed on the corpse.
Yeah.
Oh my
when
gosh!
When he shot the guy when he did the whole one bullet.
Yeah, the Russian roulette type thing. The look on his face. Oh my gosh, this is a great movie.
The Legend of Zorro came out this year, and
that was the second one, I think.
Saw 2 came out this year.
Yeah, Saw 2.
Oh, Saw 2. Okay.
Oh,
I just noticed The Descent also came out this year as The Cave. So
that's probably why I kept getting them confused.
Came out this year. Yeah, I guess I forgot.
They're both like underground type horror movies.
And now I'm not.
No, it's one movie.
Which was the one that was all women? Wasn't one of them all?
The Descent.
Okay, that's the one I remembered more. I like.
There's even a sequel to that one too.
Yeah.
They got the girls back for the sequel.
I was thinking The Cave was that one. I did see them both, but I like The Descent better, I think.
So, Sin, you saw this movie, Chicken Little.
Yeah, it was all right. I forgot it was that old. Wow, that's
it had
insane.
wasn't that guy's last role?
Whose last role?
The funny guy. Goodness.
Michael J. Fox. Is it?
Or
am I thinking something else?
Goodness, what was it? He was in that movie. He was in
the first Saw.
He was in that movie.
And the 7th.
Chicken Little?
Yeah, he was in
was he?
that detective guy. Like they were like detectives. They go to Britain or something. They go to that castle, and there's like a killer killing people. He's like a comedian.
So is this guy? Oh, Don Knotts.
Is that his name?
Yes, Don Knotts. Yeah. Okay, I forgot he was in there, Arturo.
Yeah, he did the voice of a rooster or something, like the governor. I don't remember.
All right, yeah.
I remember seeing that in the theaters that year.
Okay. Has anybody seen A History of Violence? I never got around to that one.
Which one?
A History of Violence?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That is a good one.
I wrote it down. I have never seen it. I don't know why.
Viggo Mortensen's great for one, but Ed Harris has like, he just does a phenomenal villain. Like he was really
he's good as a villain.
I mean, he's memorable. He really stands out in this movie. And then John Hurt played the secondary villain in that film at the end, and there's just really good. It's just a really well done film. It's by David Cronenberg.
Okay.
He did like Videodrome and Scanners, and he's one of the best things that come out of Canada. So
I need to watch it. I have put it off. I think part of the reason is because of Viggo. He just doesn't. He's not that interesting of an actor to me for whatever reason.
He's good in this one.
And I've heard it's really good.
And it's surprisingly, I don't know why. It's actually very violent. But
no, right? Why am I not interested in it? It's so violent.
Exactly.
Yes, you like Maria Bello, don't you?
I do. I like her. Right? I don't know. I think it's because maybe just the premise of it seemed like.
I think I didn't
see
it until video, and I know what you're saying, because I remember when I seen the previews for it, and I just kind of rolled my eyes. Oh, another action. He's small town. You know what I mean? It seems formulaic, but then when you actually watch it, it's not. It was just the marketing, I think, to me, anyways.
I'll watch it for sure. Yeah, I've got that.
I think it's a graphic novel, apparently. I believe.
I think I heard that. Yeah, because it was like in a list of movies based on comics or something like that.
I also read. Sorry, I keep hitting you with facts here. That it was the last major studio film to be released on VHS. So.
Oh, interesting.
So that's kind of the end of the era.
You know all the things, Derek.
Yeah, and I wish it actually paid my bills, man. That'd be awesome, but it doesn't.
Start your YouTube channel and make it all about this just
I got
movie
so much.
trivia.
Yeah.
You've got so much rolling around in your brain there. Okay, I'm just deleting stuff we've already talked about. Match Point has been recommended to me, and I never saw it. I never watched it. The premise didn't look like something that I would
Scarlett
be drawn.
Johansson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard it's pretty good. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I have the DVD, but I never watched it. So I have no opinion.
Oh, okay. The interview of Carrie Elwes, Comic-Con 2014. You know, he was at Dragon Con 2019, but I don't think I went to any of his. I don't think I saw him at all there. But okay. Carrie Elwes, Comic-Con 2014.
I like Carrie Elwes. He's a good actor.
I do too. Yeah, I like him.
He was in Saw 7. That's what I referenced earlier when I said in Part 7. So
I never saw as far as that.
Saw.
I know. I never saw as far as that.
I think he's a good actor, though. I like him, and you can tell he went through a period where he was just kind of disenfranchised. I think wasn't getting a lot of work. He put on a lot of weight, and then you see him nowadays, and he looks really lean and healthy, and like he cares again.
I didn't know he was British for the longest time for whatever reason, and never realized he was a Brit. I don't know why. It's
well, he hates people who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. He'll tell you on his page. So
he's that kind. Okay,
he's one of those. There's no time to deal with people who can't see this right now when our democracy is in shambles. And you're like, okay,
okay.
Are we talking
go
about?
Back. Carrie
Elwes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wait, who? Having passion.
Tolerance, except for you. You know, he's one of those guys. So you're just kind of like, I just don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
Which actor is this?
The dude who played in
I don't want to believe it. I know.
The dude who, so okay,
wait,
that might be one of the. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, what did he play in again?
The Princess Bride. He was the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Oh yeah, Princess Bride. You guys mentioned that. It was that was. I remember watching that. That was pretty good.
I'm trying.
It wasn't a comedy like at all. It wasn't
I think the villain.
If I remember correctly.
No. Oh, you mean the main guy, right?
Yeah, and the Dread Pirate Roberts. Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is one of the reasons I turned away from Match Point because Woody Allen.
I'm
not a fan of his movies.
Totally forgetting. I don't think it has any of the Woody Allen type comedy. I don't remember. I guess I can't remember if he's in it. All I remember is Scarlett Johansson and then the other dude, the young, good-looking dude who I forget his name now, and how it was like a serious drama. And
isn't there some suspense or thriller stuff thrown in there?
Yeah, it's a bit of a suspense, there's some betrayal and it's mystery.
Okay.
So it is it's not a normal Woody Allen movie. It's pretty good.
All right.
It's a pretty good movie.
I gotta check it out because I like Woody Allen. I've always enjoyed all his work. To be honest, I thought Annie Hall was great. And I've seen a lot of his things over the years, and I think he I even liked Small Time Crooks and the stuff he did in the mid 2000s when Steven Spielberg was personally funding all of his little vanity projects and stuff. And I'll have to check out Match Point. I'll have to actually finally watch it. Didn't he do one called Scoop as well? I believe. Did he do that? No, that's just Scarlett Johansson.
I have no idea.
Sorry, I'm just rifling off in my head.
I know who you're talking about, Colin. It's Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Yes, that guy. Yeah. That
guy. Oh yeah, John.
He had a moment there. He was in a lot more stuff. Also, I want to say, Jeff, I don't know, we didn't mention, but Wedding Crashers I liked. I don't love, but I like. And 40-Year-Old Virgin I was waiting to bring up. Again, that's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mentioned that just briefly. I mentioned the wax scene. The wax scene.
Kelly Clarkson.
Carell. That's a fun one. I hate that I really relate to the character in that, in some ways. I don't know. Yeah, it's just the nerdy stuff. Some of the nerdy stuff where it's hey, I'm watching you guys watching Survivor later? Cool, riding his bike.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Or when he tries to get the guy from opening the $6 Million Man's Boss action figure,
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we can. It's worth more in the package. Stop!" And I'm like, "Oh, I get that. I don't open my toys." So
I had like a phase where I saw that myself becoming that, and I was like, nope. Like I sold all my action. I never kept them in the box. I always played with them. But I loved my action figures when I was a kid. It's like I'm gonna hold on to these and cherish them. And then there was a point where I'm like, no, I'm not. I have to grow. People were making fun of me. My friends would tease me. And I'm like, all right, it's time to. A few of my favorites went in a box in my parents' closet. And
man, I still buy action figures now. Have you seen the NECA toys? It's so unfair. It's like these are what kids get nowadays. And I remember when my Star Wars guys, they can only like move their arms up and down. Now they move like fingers move. Everything moves. It's like
yeah.
It's not fair, man. It's not fair.
You're going to have to get some wax for next stream. Do it live.
This 42-year-old prostitute addict. Oh my gosh.
That's fun. Yeah.
I like when he had the framed Asia poster, the band Asia.
Oh gosh, I feel like I need to rewatch that movie. I'm not much into comedies, but I like Steve Carell because he's pretty. Steve Carell.
I think it's
funny.
Maybe my favorite Carell movie. I mean, The Office is like all-time great, which we'll talk about later. This is the year.
Right.
Oh, this is the year. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but, I don't know. Of all his movies, this is kind of my favorite. I think he's pretty good. He does some movies that aren't that great, I guess.
I love Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
That was one I thought I would. Keira Knightley and Steve Carell, right?
Yeah,
I was so hyped for that movie. I was so hyped for that movie, and I was just kind of like, like it was a little too serious for me. I was hoping it would just be more goofy and fun.
It's an odd tone because you're dealing with the end of the world. There's no escape, and they're driving around trying to have the best time and reconnect with his dad. She's trying to all these things going on, and it's real serious. Like it's real, but then it tries to be humorous. But then it tries to be humorous about it, and it's an odd tone to balance. It's not for everybody. So I get it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it, but the title is copied from a song on Chris Cornell's debut solo album, Euphoria Morning.
Sounds like a song. Yeah. Sounds like more of a song title than a movie title.
It is, and there's some good songs in there. I mean, they have Scott Walker and the Walker Brothers, and The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore. First time I remember hearing that one in a long time. But it's just I liked it. So, but that's for 2012. Turned 10 years old this year. So
that's a ways away.
There's a historical movie.
She was in two movies this year at least.
I didn't mention that's one of my other favorite movies of all time.
Domino.
No, I mentioned that. I had that DVD and watched it quite a bit. But
Richard Kelly wrote that one, right? I don't know if you guys mentioned that. I think I was getting out when
it was very briefly mentioned. Domino.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice. Yeah.
I put that in my top 5 all time.
Yeah, she was in that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
It's almost like I would say I make jokes about it. I think it's the only movie I love that doesn't have a body count. I think every other movie I love, there's at least a handful of people dying. But that movie is just so sweet and happy. It's funny in kind of a light tone. But, I mean, the biggest drama is that, like, her boyfriend leaves or something. Like, there's no of this, like, someone's tragedy that we're dealing with these horrible things. It's all like, we're going to dances, and I got a crush on this guy, and, maybe he doesn't like me. And it's I'm surprised that Keira Knightley got me to watch it, but then I think it's a really well-made film. The direction, there's some great performances, like Donald Sutherland plays her dad. The mom is so funny. This little dude is really funny in this movie. This little nerdy dude they meet up with, and I think it's a beautiful and great film. And
Did you ever read the book?
Yeah, I've actually read the book. I think I had to read it twice during my college career, and I actually liked the book. I actually was like, I know I love the movie, but I won't like the book. It's just like the movie in that it's kind of easy to read, and it's lighthearted and kind of funny, and it just takes you back to a simpler time where that's what life was. I mean, it maybe glosses over some of the bullshit, but like just like going to dances and living on the farm and being close with your family and that kind of thing, which is just really sweet and happy.
Yeah, her books are pretty happy.
Yeah, it's easy to read. It's good.
There's a historical movie that Steven Spielberg released this
Munich.
year. Munich, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I wasn't moved by that.
wait, that's the one with Eric Bana, right? Where he's like a Nazi
Yeah.
hunter. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't necessarily anything I'd like to watch again.
It's about the Munich massacre in the Summer Olympics.
Yes.
Yep.
It was a bit too slow.
Well,
It's too much of
it's
a talking heads drama.
it's more about not necessarily that, but it's about them hunting down the people behind it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
There was not a lot of action for like a 2.5-hour movie about terrorist bombing. To me, there's all I remember is so much talking.
Like, here's the thing.
Simon.
Either some historical movies are going to have action or they're going to have more of the dialogue, because that's how real life is.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it was spiced up just for the, for dramatic purposes.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I didn't read
If you want a
in
real
heavily.
historical action movie, watch A Bridge Too Far.
Oh,
It balances everything out.
Yeah, that
with
one's
action,
constant.
dialogue, realistic, and not CGI work. It's all practical.
Which one is that? Who's the star of that one?
That was from a
John
while back.
Connery.
That one. Okay.
It's got a lot of actors. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. My mom watched it recently. She's like, "Come on, you have to watch. It's a classic. You got to watch it with me." And I was like, "I will."
It's a classic.
Watch it with your mom, Colin.
Do it, Colin. She's right there. Come on.
I think it also has Archie Bunker in it, right? Carol O'Connor. Is that the one he's in, or is
that's Kelly's Heroes.
Oh, it's Kelly's Heroes. Oh,
no.
right.
It's got the guy from Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's what else?
Robert Redford.
Doesn't it have? Ah, dang it! It's got the guy from Jaws.
Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw,
and it's it's even got the guy that did Marcus from Indiana Jones for one scene.
Does it have Anthony Hopkins in it?
Oh yeah, that's him.
1977.
Yeah, it's got Anthony Hopkins. It's got
Elliot Gould, Gene Hackman.
Oh, Michael Caine.
Laurence Olivier.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
It's even got the guy from Force 10 of Navarone.
It's a pretty big cast.
I thought there was somebody else in there too that you might recognize.
There's a lot of faces you'd recognize.
I'm not good with names.
Sure.
I just remember their faces.
Oh, James Caan. Oh yeah, that's like a big jump backwards though. Why did we get onto that? Why were we talking?
Because of Munich.
Right. Okay.
I'm telling you, if you want a balance of all of that in a good way, A Bridge Too Far. Highly recommend.
I really like that movie.
I will watch it sometime.
Or Band of Brothers. That's another one.
I've watched that.
Brothers.
That is good. Yeah,
I still need to see The Pacific.
that is.
Yes.
Have you ever watched The Pacific?
No, he hasn't yet.
I maybe liked it more.
That's the first movie he noticed him in, Chris. He did not know much about Robert Redford before.
We call Robert Redford the guy who directed Winter Soldier.
Well, see, that's funny because I remember before Captain America: Winter Soldier came out, I saw Bridge Too Far like a year earlier, I think.
But you didn't notice him.
I didn't know who he was at the time. Yeah.
Yep. That's funny.
So I'm trying to figure out my top 3, but there's too many.
There's a lot to choose from. I think I
can
did.
barely pick a top 5, honestly.
I knew there were 2 solids for me.
I might have to do a top 5 or maybe a top 10.
It's a better year than I remembered. It's got
a lot of good movies. Like I'm telling you, 05.
A lot of movies that I felt like were definitely worth like trying to check out if we had the time. Obviously, we couldn't. There were others I wrote down. Assault on Precinct 13, which was a remake of the original. I think Ethan Hawke. I saw that a long time ago. Alone in the Dark, which I don't think I saw.
Oh,
I know. I don't think I ever watched it.
Tara Reid saved the world. What?
The Interpreter, which I think was Nicole Kidman and maybe Sean Penn. I saw that once. I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember much about the plot.
It was a good film. It just wasn't very rewatchable. It just was,
Mm.
you go for the ride and it's well done, but it's just kind of okay.
Stealth, which I don't think I've ever seen, and I think we talked about it very briefly last time, and I heard it was
Stealth
was
Fighter.
Recommended to watch that, but we never.
It's a good action movie. I remember it got marketed really heavily in 2005. So whenever I think about 2005, it's one of those movies that pops in my head. Stealth.
That's Jessica Biel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before Justin Timberlake chained her to the wall and made her have all his babies and stuff, whatever.
And then Cry Wolf, which I've seen a couple times. I enjoy it. It's not like the best horror movie ever, but I enjoy it.
Here he is again.
Oh, geez, this bot. It's just a dumb bot. And then the last one I wrote down, but we never saw, was The New World.
Oh, yeah, with Colin Farrell and Christian Bale.
Christian Bale,
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, that was one that you had specifically mentioned.
That's my number 2 of the year. After Pride and Prejudice is my number 1, and The New World is my number 2.
Okay.
That's one. Have you seen all the different versions? And they have three official cuts of that movie. The extended cut. Yeah.
I did
you
not
have a preference on that one?
No, I did not realize that. Now that you say that, I'm curious to. I haven't revisited or looked at it for a while because it is a really slow movie.
Yeah.
It's not meant for repeat viewings, or not many. Maybe some people would, but. I could watch that once every 5 years.
It's Terrence Malick, if I remember right, correct?
Malick, yeah, which he's very slow, but I think it's awesome. I think it's a masterpiece, and
Well, his movies, if the rare anomaly that his movies get made by a mainstream big studio, they get edited almost heavily. There's always conflict, and so that movie I know went through a lot of trials and after the fact, with re-editing. So that's why I was curious.
I really
noticed.
Yeah, that's piqued my interest to go track down the best director's cut now, because that's one of those movies. Yeah, I feel like it. As I get older, I'll appreciate it more. Even at a young age, I feel like this is a movie that's really like I said before with Terrence Malick and some other. I feel like they're asking you to engage and think about things. They're kind of treating things like he did The Thin Red Line, that World War II movie.
That was him. Okay.
Amazing movie, that one.
Yeah, and The New World. I think I've seen a few movies he's done since and before these two movies, but I think these are his two best movies where he just, even though they're slow, I don't think there's really much time wasted, if that makes sense. It's all serves this purpose of the points he's making. And I think The New World, even though it's the Pocahontas story, is what it is. And honestly, it's the Avatar story in a lot of ways, or the Fern Gully story. It's a classic story of people coming and invading natives' lands, and some of the invaders falling for the natives and seeing the bad side of the invader and that whole thing. But it's really it contrasts Native American culture with the European culture that came over in a really illuminating way that's hard to see just reading about. Where you see god damn, it was so different, and it was so just fucking shitty how the Europeans came over and what they did, and it's sad, and I think it highlights that in a way that no other movie I've really seen does. It feels like it opens you up to thinking about that situation instead of telling you what was happening there. As much as it kind of there's a point he's making. I think it's a lot more open-minded and look at this and think about the different aspects of it. And so for that, I love it. I think it's a masterpiece, and I love it. And yeah, now I'm excited to hear that there's a director's cut. I want to check it out.
Yeah, well, let me know if we ever get on this podcast, if you do ever get around to seeing it, what you think of it. Because I'm sure it's substantially different and longer, and usually the course of, how the film was presented, its story, the course of events were shifted around a lot in a theatrical cut from his. So, yeah.
I'm checking that out.
So how many versions are there?
I thought there were 3, but I could be wrong. But I remember it was like Alexander, it seemed, where it's every couple years they put out a new version for whatever reason, and I think Alexander has 4 or 5 official cuts. And
oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've bought every single one of them.
Of course you have, because you buy all of the discs.
Plus, I actually didn't mind the movie, but whatever.
I got that movie mixed up with Troy for whatever
Oh,
reason.
yeah.
I don't remember if I've actually seen Alexander all the way through.
It's got a lot of people in it. Angelina Jolie was great. She was disgustingly kind of evil.
Yeah,
But then again, that's probably just her on a Monday. Who knows? And then it was actually really jarring because that was when Val Kilmer started. I know he put on a lot of weight specifically for that role to play Philip or whatever, and he had like one eye. It was really.
Oh, was that really? Because
Yeah.
he was still carrying that weight in Deja Vu the next year.
Yeah, he did put on, and he kind of hung on to it up until I think like the next 6 or 7 years.
I think until he got like sick.
Yeah, I saw him in New Mexico, and he was quite large. But
you saw him in New Mexico?
Yeah, he used to live in Albuquerque. Well, he was there all the time, and
so was it at like a con or something? Like where?
No, it was at a Whole Foods. My friend, we were at a Whole Foods, and we saw him.
Funny.
Or whatever it was. I don't remember. I think it was a Whole Foods. I went there one time to see friends in New Mexico in Albuquerque, and it's like, oh my god, that's Val Kilmer. He lives here, and I knew that, like, because I followed film stuff, and I didn't say nothing to him, but it was just kind of, what did you walk up to him and go like, hey, what are you buying, man? Hey, oh my gosh, I loved you, or yell out Iceman like some annoying teenage girl,
Man anytime.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of regret those things, but you're just kind of like, oh shoot, I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have done that. You don't.
Right.
There is 3. I just read there's 3 cuts to the New World, at least at this time of this article. But the one you can't see is the theatrical cut. The one on DVD is the recut, and then the director's cut is almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have not seen that, and I really want to. It's been a while since I've watched the movie, so that's kind of got me excited to watch again. I'm gonna see how I can find that.
Yeah, check them out, man.
There you go.
And it's like, well, plus like he did the Thin Red Line, and I know there's different versions of the story, but apparently it was almost 6 hours long when he assembled everything he shot, and then he had to cut that down to, bare under 3 hours. And so you can imagine when you cut a story in half like that, how much do you not hear? You know what I mean? And
wow.
So
yeah, that's interesting. And the Tree of Life is like that with sorry, I'm going off topic again, but the Tree of Life is also like this huge amount of that like universal crazy shit that is in that movie, that almost like a whole film's worth of that shit, that in the actual movie you get like 15 minutes. And I think I have cuts, and I keep saying I'm gonna track down that long cut, and I never have. A Tree of Life, which also I just saw. I'm gonna go for just another second. I just saw the other day a list like critics poll best movies of the decade, of last decade. Number 2 was Tree of Life, and number 1 was my favorite movie of the decade, Fury Road, Mad Max.
Oh, okay. All right.
You really don't you gotta watch it again, Sin.
I saw it. I hated it.
How do you hate
it? It wasn't just because Charlize Theron was in it, which I don't care for her at all. But I remember I was watching it with a friend, and there was all this crazy, wacky stuff going on. Like there was this chase in the desert, and these people were playing like these guitars, heavy metal guitars, and they were like swinging all around. And it was like, this is the dumbest movie. We both looked at each other like, what the hell are we watching? What is this? So stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I would say. Yeah. It's just dumb. It's people grunting and it just sucks.
I did not like Fury Road.
And Charlize Theron, I thought she turned into such I'm an auteur of film, like a snob now all of a sudden. Like she just went to a new elevated status now with this film, and you're watching it and it's like, it's just fucking weird. I didn't like it. Just didn't sit with, but a lot that's
of people
just my
do.
opinion. I know a lot of people love it though. So
I think that's one thing that kind of annoyed me about it, because I knew that before I watched it, I knew it had been pretty well received. People really liked it, and then I watched it like, this is the dumbest. Just like No Country for Old Men. I didn't like that.
Come again?
Right? That's how I felt. I hated the movie, like up until a point, and then it lost me. It's okay.
Well, see, this is why I don't. I
just
go
can't.
in thinking, well, okay, you know, people put something as high regards as the best thing ever, and then when you watch it or play it or what, then it's like not
Okay, I
really.
will say I enjoyed No Country for Old Men in general more than Fury Road, but I think it was the way it came to its ending that I hated it. I hated, and I was really pissed that I'd watched it.
You wanted
That's
him to die.
I wanted the bad guy to die.
Yes, and I think that was an upsetting point because you want him to die, and you
And
get
he
really
ended up,
close to it, and it just.
but he also he got you know, the other character, which I wasn't expecting that to happen.
No.
And then also the spouse, and I was like, well, that's really shitty. I hate this. You know, so I was pissed by it.
I like Josh Brolin in that movie too. I thought he
I
was
did
good.
too, and Javier Bardem was excellent as far as the way he played the role.
Mm-hmm.
But as a whole,
I didn't like that he had this like vendetta against early 80s Fords. Like he kept blowing up like a Granada, Fairmont, like he was just destroying them, and you're like, dude, what did they do to you?
You would notice when the poor cars get assaulted.
Of course, because I have a Granada, so of course when I saw, oh cool, a Granada, oh, and it's on fire. Never mind.
So, Colin, you had given. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Simon.
I was going to say I didn't really like No Country for Old Men either. But I will say there is one thing it does have going for it, and that is that it wasn't as bad as Terminator 2.
What? Get out!
I knew he was going somewhere with
I
this.
know. I could tell by the sound of his voice. Well, I thought I could. Like the last time when he was talking about the other thing he was talking about, and I thought he was going to go to places. I was like, because the way his voice sounds. But yeah, I knew you were getting ready to say something snarky, Simon.
As usual.
Anytime he talks, I'm just like, okay, what's he gonna say?
Oh boy.
What's gonna happen?
He got up his sleeve this time.
So, Colin, you gave us two of your top.
I'll rattle them off because we talked about all of them. And I'm trying to keep them all, and because we're going over them. And I'm gonna mention 7 because this was a good year. And I just realized, like, I gotta mention Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, honorable mention. Mm-hmm. And then I honestly don't know where to draw the line on 5. I guess, like, I feel like I forgot about The Proposition, but I almost think that's a movie that it's never gonna get old. Like, if I could probably always watch that, So there's already 2, and then Batman Begins, I have to mention, is so good, and one of my favorite superhero movies. Sometimes it's like goes without saying, but then I'm like, no, I can't not say Batman Begins.
Right.
And then Sin City, I love. Like I watched that a lot, and it inspired me. It's really cool and unique style. And then, what's the third one? Because I did already mention. Oh, The Protector, which we talked about. One of my all-time favorite action movies. Was an awesome action scene. So definitely check out The Protector and The Proposition.
Yeah. I put those in my list. I will be watching those.
Yeah, and then
they look like things to be.
And Pride and Prejudice. And Pride and Prejudice is like top 5 all time for me.
Yeah, I don't think I could really make a top 3 because there's just too much here.
I managed to narrow mine down to 3 because while there was a lot of films in here that I did enjoy, there weren't necessarily more than 3 that I would love to the point of watching them over and over again.
What would you all give this year out of 10?
I think it was fairly solid. Maybe an 8 for me. I would give it.
Which one I missed?
What's that?
I missed what Simon said. What movie?
Wait, like, what would you? Sorry, go ahead, Simon. Go ahead.
What would you give this year out of 10?
Oh, the year overall?
Yeah.
Whew. I feel like I never give him like less than a 7. I mean, I guess that you compare it to every year in film. I mean, for going back to it's almost every year this decade is better than the 1920s and 30s and from 40s.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, those 7 movies, I would say I could watch all 7 of those movies again, probably multiple times. And I've already seen them multiple times. And then, so what's that mean? It's a 9? It's at least an 8. Maybe it's a 9.
Yeah, sounds like it's on up there for you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it at least an 8 just because of how many movies there were that I put on the list of possible films to watch. And it was a long list.
Yeah.
So that's pretty solid year, I think.
I'd
Well,
say
I'd
about
give
an
it a
8 as
3.
well. Yeah.
Eight.
A what?
You gave it a 3, Simon?
This year is shittier than a Coachella portable toilet.
You mean 3 out of 4 stars?
3 out of 10.
Oh my god!
Really? Are you
Well,
serious,
wait,
or are
okay.
you just
You
making
have
up
No, I'm
names?
serious.
You have a
Yeah.
top
Really?
3
It
movies.
Wow.
sucked.
What's your top 3 movies? Do you have 3?
Probably. Okay, no laughing. Memoirs of a Geisha.
Okay. Yeah.
Batman Begins and 40-Year-Old Virgin, I guess. You know, Memoirs of a Geisha is the only one I really liked.
Ang Lee, right? Didn't he
Mhm.
direct?
Yeah.
It was pretty artistic, if I remember. I did watch it. I think it was a little too slow for me, but it was kind of colorful and well shot. Colorful in a way, like there's blacks and grays, and but there's some bright cut imagery. That I don't saw it once. But wait, so you said Ang Lee, then maybe 40-Year-Old Virgin, and one other
No,
one.
Batman Begins and then
Okay, I was gonna mention Batman. I was
maybe
like,
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Begins?
Batman Begins is very flawed.
It's so
It's just kind of.
he goes to ninja school.
No, it's when I rewatched
The start was
it.
good, the end was bad.
Origin story. I mean,
Like
what
War of the
better-
Worlds. The start was good, the end was bad.
Okay.
That's a lot of movies. Yeah, start to end.
But Batman Begins was pretty. It stood out pretty well at the time. Because a lot of superhero movies are trying to find their footing. You know, they're making. You had kind of the real, kind of soft, comic-y ones, like you have Fantastic Four and Daredevil came off as kind of goofy at times. Spider-Man was soft. Batman Begins felt very grounded to me, and it was. I mean, at least first film to feel like that. And I think each one, like I think really Dark Knight felt real, like almost a recognizable reality to what we're in. And I think that was a cool way to do superhero movies. I prefer that style.
On the flip side of that, when I first watched Batman Begins, I watched it as a double bill with Seed of Chucky, and I preferred Seed of Chucky.
Oh,
Seed of Chucky's funny, but it's.
Oh man!
Like
Okay.
most of the movies that we've
Simon's
seen,
not a fan of
almost as good as
2005.
Seed of
All
Chucky.
right.
No, Seed of Chucky is funny. I mean, some of those puns in that movie, like "Get a load of Chucky." You're like,
Wait, what about Sin
clever.
City? Simon, you didn't like Sin City, or do you see it?
It was all right.
It's not not a big deal. What about The Proposition? Have you ever seen The Proposition?
It was all right.
Oh really?
Everything this year is just kind of all right.
like
You know,
all
nothing I
right,
would go
okay.
back to.
Only an all
Interesting.
right on The Proposition. And I know you don't care for you won't even try The New World.
I guess you like Just
What is
V
it?
for Vendetta.
The New World.
Was that this year?
Yeah,
Yes.
2005.
Oh yeah, put that in. Okay, so 4.
Yay!
the
You
time.
like The New World enough to say
You
this.
talked him into liking another movie for the year. Good job.
It's a good accomplishment, Colin.
What about Pride and Prejudice? You might watch that sometime.
No, not my thing.
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
Did you not see
It's all
Kiss
right.
Kiss Bang Bang? Oh, see
Yeah.
now,
Harry
Uh-oh.
Potter.
Simon.
Yeah.
A lot of malcontents here.
Mr.
I mean, I
Mrs.
get
Smith.
what you mean about like a lot of the films from this year being all right, but to
Yeah.
me, because there were so many, like I said, that I felt like it would be worth checking out. That's why I rated it as
There
high
was
as
a
I did. Like,
lot.
They-
In fairness,
they
I
all
was planning a
interest
wedding
me.
this year, so that might have that cloud hanging over it
oh, you was
in my memory. So
You got married?
You were planning a wedding. Oh.
I was planning a wedding. Didn't say I
you-
got married.
Oh, so you have you have bad memories.
Was it?
I have
2005
Yeah.
was a bad year for just the family.
well, I have
Well,
bad memories of
what's the
2005 too, so
proposition?
I can sort of understand a bit where you're coming
That's
from.
funny.
that still doesn't mean that it was a bad year for all this great entertainment.
Yeah,
I thought
well,
2005
only
was a good
speak
year for
subjectively.
film, but I mean, I don't have any negative connotations attached to the year. I felt pretty free. It was my first year, I think, as like a free adult out of high school that just started college. You know what I mean? I was working a lot, and I particularly. That's why I found a solace in the Dukes of Hazzard movie. I don't know if you guys ever talked about that one.
oh,
yet,
we did. Was that 2005?
but- Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, I remember when it came out, and I was like, no.
The Broken Lizard guys, and then you had Stifler and Johnny Knoxville and Jessica Simpson, who was
Daisy Duke, yeah.
But it was
Jared,
a fun
you ever
movie.
thought about making your own movie?
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
I mean,
I see life. I storytell through a film. That's how I see things. So
like all these movies. You collect movies that even you don't even watch half the time.
I know, in multiple versions.
I tell myself I'll watch it at some point, but
you know what works in storytelling. Why not go out there and do it now?
Yeah. Maybe when I'm in my new Wyoming state, and I'll have a whole bunch of nothing to do. I don't know. I can finally write. I don't have to worry about bums sleeping in my yard anymore or stepping on human feces and everything. I can actually, get something done.
Okay.
Those pesky liberals. And high taxes. Don't forget that now I get money that I get to keep. I don't have to.
Right. That's right. Because there's no state income tax there, right? You say
you get both. You get sales tax, income tax. You get my income tax is almost like 11% now, where it's just like, so that adds up pretty quick when you tack on almost 11% on everything you buy. It adds up pretty quick. Anyways, that's a different rant for a different story. But yeah, no, I like your idea, Arturo, and maybe I would love to follow through with that. So keep encouraging me.
It would make sense because you like movies. You know what works in movies. I would just think, why not try to make your own movie?
You gotta have a lot of people who want to try with you.
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult to venture out and something like that on your own.
Why not write it like a screenplay?
But sometimes it doesn't take much. So
I don't know.
I mean, they're making the third Magic Mike movie. How hard can this shit be?
I know.
Everything's going remake.
And that was not a pun. I didn't mean to use hard.
I didn't even catch that. What are your top 3, Derek? Do you have them?
Oh, for 2005. See, I'm going off memory. I know a lot of us are, so forgive me if I'm not as up on things. I usually wait for you guys to chime in. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that one. But for me, I don't. Did you guys talk about Cursed with Wes Craven?
Nope.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it's a great movie, but it's one I enjoyed, and that I think if anything, it's another curiosity piece about the storytelling process.
Is that the one with Christina Ricci?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that they shot, they did 4 total shoots for that film.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and they kept cutting.
Is that the one with the werewolf does the finger?
Yes.
I think so, yes.
That was a product, though, of, I think, reshoot number 3. But, that's a really interesting film. And it's sad because since Wes Craven is gone, rest in peace, Hail Mary, whatever, we will never get to see a finished anything aside what's there, it's sad that
something that we saw recently that Arturo, what was it we saw that Wes Craven was involved in? And I mentioned him specifically.
Red Eye?
Yeah, Red Eye. Yeah.
I saw that in theaters, actually. I saw Red Eye. And I didn't think it was a particularly great film, but I thought it had it's just a dialed back, engaging film. You know what I mean? Like it was worth your investment of 90 minutes or whatever it was. It kept you
85.
It reminded me of short.
And with 80 with credits. So without credits, I apologize.
Yep.
But no, I don't even know if I want to say Cursed. I just mentioned it because I didn't know if anyone had.
No, we didn't.
And you had mentioned earlier Assault on Precinct 13. So we had 2 remakes of John Carpenter films this year, The Fog and Assault on Precinct 13.
Yep.
Yeah, and John Carpenter, he'll tell you right away he didn't have anything to really do with that film. He just they paid him to show up on set, and he just kind of sat around and ate from the service table. He said they had a great food budget, so I just kind of hung out there, and so
he was well fed. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. 2005. I don't know. I'll say Dukes of Hazzard because I was really. A lot of people hate on that one, but that was a big influential thing for me in that year. I had Dukes of Hazzard shirts on and everything, and I really bought into that. I really got into Lynyrd Skynyrd after that movie.
Okay.
No,
I never saw it, so I didn't know.
Yeah. And it was the first movie. You know how now movies, I think Tokyo Drift, that came out this year or next year. The Fast and Furious 3.
I like Tokyo Drift. I think it was next year.
Next year, yeah, because I get confused in this time frame. But that movie started off that whole trend of now having cars. Every time you see like a performance car in a movie, they're drifting these crazy drift stunts everywhere they go, burning out, doing crazy stuff like that. And Dukes of Hazzard, they started doing that, and but they didn't have the benefit of all the CGI. So you get to watch, if you watch the bloopers, you get to see a lot of Chargers get sacrificed to the greater, to the god of film.
Oh wow.
The god of shitty cars.
Oh no! These are $1 million
God of shitty
cars,
American
man.
cars.
Oh dear, here we go.
All right, we're coming across. This is stuff we fight Americans fight over. So, no, those are fun cars, man, and they basically became what they are in value because of Dukes of Hazzard. Because so that's why you'll see them sell on Meckham for $600,000.
Aren't they in Georgia, or are they in Kentucky or Tennessee?
They were in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, yeah. That's Savannah, and they filmed around there. And,
well, that's part of your culture, Sam.
No, not exactly.
See, in the South, when you say Carolina, it's all, we're like, which one? We don't know the difference.
There's
over
two
here.
Carolinas.
Yeah.
2 Carolinas.
Is that the one, James? Which one did James Taylor sing about?
I don't know. He just sang "I'm going to Carolina" in my mind, but I don't think he specified, did he?
Okay, so sorry to answer your question. I'm gonna say Dukes of Hazzard. Don't judge me on that one. I like Dark Water, believe it or not, with Jennifer Connelly. I really like that one.
That one at some point too. Yeah.
Because I liked it. It surprised me that it wasn't. It was rainy, which I'm used to. That's the climate I've grown up in. So, I have more. Ooh, 3 George.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
it's getting raw.
How about a Tangerine Dream? What do I get with that?
Oh, I like Tangerine Dream. The Dukes of Hazzard. Maybe that was what Colin was asking about, right?
I don't remember.
Kentucky. Well, I know the movie. They go to Atlanta, Georgia. They go to Atlanta to the college to get whatever stupid thing they do. It's just a scene to have them go into a sorority or whatever. But
okay. But the show itself, like the show, where were they from?
I thought it was Georgia, because I know that's where they filmed originally. I thought it was, but I could be wrong.
I used to watch it at my grandma and grandpa's house, and I don't remember where they were supposed to be from. I
guess it's the difference. Was it like Appalachia or just whatever you guys, just like green and hot? I don't know.
Yeah, mosquitoes and tornadoes and Dolly Parton theme parks. What do you guys do over there?
Aren't they from Hazard?
Hazard County, yes.
Hazard County.
Boss Hogg and he has.
Oh, Boss Hogg was so gross.
Oh God, he was like Danny DeVito, like the Penguin.
Eating and greasy fingers and nasty. He was supposed to be gross. He was definitely gross.
Yeah. But no, when you check out Dark Water, what took me for it was that since you go in there thinking it's a standard horror movie, but like the ending, I really thought was a good character point, and I don't want to spoil nothing like that, but I thought I liked it, and I was like, okay, I get you see, kind of. I liked it. That was good. And like I said, it was overcast. I mean, like it had a cast that was, they could have put anyone in these roles, but putting like John McGinley and John C. Reilly, not John McGinley. He's in everything, but Riley, putting him as this like seedy real estate guy who's just a bullshitter, and you recognize these guys a mile away, but he does it really well, and they really put a cast in there that was high above the film's grade, if that makes sense. So I enjoyed that movie, and I've appreciated it more as time goes on. And
Connolly is looking good for her age in Top Gun.
Oh,
I know it's makeup.
Yeah,
too,
she really does. She's aged very well.
We were saying she didn't have much makeup on in that film. Didn't
Well,
seem like
she
that.
had makeup, but you
Ruby
could
had
still
Well,
see, you know, like
right.
we were talking about the little crow's feet and everything. But I was talking about how her neck skin looked really nice, but also I think I've mentioned
Oh
that
yeah, neck skin.
the neck skin. Well, see, like in women especially, the neck skin, you can like their face might look okay, but you look at the skin on their neck and it's like maybe they didn't pay attention to taking care of that as well as their face, and there's a difference sometimes. But Jennifer Connelly, I think she's prettier now than she was back in
that's
her
how
teen.
when you're looking under the hood of a woman, that's how you check the real mileage, is look at her neck. Is that what you're saying?
A good tip.
I just noticed it, and I think her skin looks fantastic. I think she's very, very pretty. I've always thought she was pretty, but I think she's prettier now than she was.
I mean, hey, you
Colin,
don't
last
look
time you were
bad for your
saying
age,
that.
Sin.
Okay, what?
I didn't hear.
Last time Colin was saying that Top Gun, the original Top Gun, had gay overtones.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it actually has feminist overtones as well, because Kelly McGillis was the instructor, and the only one to hit a glass ceiling was Goose.
Oh gosh, Simon.
Too soon. I'm just kidding. No, that's good. But Jennifer Connelly, did you notice that
Hazard
she
County, Georgia? Okay. She
what?
what?
Hazard County in Georgia.
Okay,
okay.
Completely. I don't know why I was thinking like a place like Alabama or Arkansas or something. But what were you going to say?
The neck odometer. That's exactly it. You know, has this been is this a salvage title? Is this a rebuild? What are we talking about? Has the odometer been rolled back? Look at the neck. Thank you, Sin, for warning all the men. The more you know.
There you go. I'm not kidding you. Okay, what were you getting ready to say about her? I interrupted.
No, her forearms. We were talking about that. She had those rugged forearms in the film.
Oh yeah, because she was. Yeah.
Well, at least I observed it. I thought that I was just like, oh, that's how I appreciate it. It looked like she aged, but she didn't. And I like they didn't try to hide it. Tom Cruise, you could tell that he was like 10 years older than her, but I thought he looked younger. I mean, that's just Tom Cruise, I guess, but.
I'm trying to think.
He's looking good too.
So how old is Tom Cruise right now?
Right now, he's like 61 or 2 or something like that. Or
he's about 60. He's around 60.
He's like technically a senior citizen, so.
Yeah, I think he's like 9 or 10 years older than her, 9.5 maybe.
Yeah, but
I love when he drops out of the window.
Tom Cruise and stem cells every morning.
What was that?
Oh boy,
say? Tom Cruise. Oh.
The Scientologist dipped Tom Cruise in stem cells every morning.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. By his heel, yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Dukes of Hazzard. Sorry, I keep just rambling on here, but okay. So I'll say Dark Water was my just list that in the top 3 or whatever, and then and I liked Curse. Throw that in there because I think the cast is amazing in that film, and it's very timely. Like if you had your finger on the pulse of what was timely and important and cool for young people in the early mid 2000s, it's like Curse had so much of it. You know, the cast, everything like that. So I really like the film in that sense. It reminds me of being young and youthful again, you know. And then
I like what Alan said there. That cracked me up. I totally get shit. I relate to weird little things like that. Like that actor was mean to the actor.
Okay, so I've never heard this before. I never heard he was mean to her. So you'll have to fill me in. And she only said.
I assumed he meant the character in the movie was mean to her.
Oh, okay, all right.
I would take as a personal.
I took that literally. Okay, because I was going to say, wait a second. I've never heard he was mean to her, and she only says nice things about him. And I've seen the behind the scenes stuff, and they look like they got along fine. Yeah. I know. I'm a little slow sometimes. Yeah, no, I get. I liked his character in there. I liked her character in there. I told you, Derek, I wanted to be her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing I remember seeing her in was like Mulholland Falls. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but.
Was that what it was called? Which I usually get that mixed up with Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Falls was
the one they threw out the plane, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I always mix that.
I don't want to watch
that. Yeah, you do, Colin. You'll like parts of it.
Jennifer kind of kept pointing at his neck. That's going to be a new word now, a new phrase now. I like that.
That's good.
Yeah, both Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly don't look bad at all.
No.
Tom Cruise is just like it's crazy the stuff he does. I do feel like his personal belief system aside, he's like one of the last like really big movie star types
80s
who
movie
really
star.
like goes into like the effort that he puts into his films. You can tell he really loves movie making, and he loves movies, and he likes making movies that he thinks audiences will like.
Is it that, or is he trying to commit suicide? Because it's the only way
I
he can get
tell
away
you,
from
honestly,
Scientology.
it's just insane the stuff he
I can
does.
relate
It's like,
to.
I think he's like the one person that actually cares when it comes to production of a movie, like when it comes to storytelling and stuff like that. He delivers it like how he does in Mission Impossible and like Top Gun Maverick.
Stuff he makes me it really like. I remember the very first time that I realized that he did his own stuff like that was in Mission Impossible 2 when he's hanging off the side of the rock, the mountain. That scene made me so nervous.
I never do that, man. Yeah, it's the biggest fear right there.
Right? Like height stunts really make me nervous. I get very tense. That wasn't a good movie. I saw that movie years back.
What about Career Opportunities? Did you ever see that?
I never saw that. No.
He's making a movie in space. He's actually going to shoot a scene or scenes.
Yep. I heard. I believe it. If anybody's going to do it, he'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I respect the work ethic. It's one of those things where, like Mel Gibson, like his whole outburst and his kind of racist and sexist and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. But Apocalypto is a great movie. And I mean, Lethal Weapon's a classic. So it's hard to disassociate some things. I mean, I don't know. I could go on, but I'm going to ramble. But yeah, Cruise is kind of
like... It can be challenging for sure.
I think he just has short man syndrome.
You think that's
constantly
what it is?
Trying to prove himself?
It might be.
Well, I grew up
He's not
really
super tall.
Because, Mission Impossible, I didn't know about all the weird stuff till later. And, I read about stuff where, like, he had a lot of sisters and a mom, and then his dad was an abusive jerk. So you could see how, obviously, a lot of people go through.
That's crazy. And Johnny Depp had an abusive mother.
But yeah, so I can almost see this kind of like he's got to prove himself kind of attitude.
Yeah, he started off like in the 80s. He was big, and what's weird is like he has like got this longevity. He has lasted, and not many actors or actresses
40 years
can say that. And I
think
who?
Tom Cruise's teeth. They didn't last.
No, they didn't. He got those taken care of or something. I could tell a difference like between the first Top Gun. I was like, wait a second, his mouth looks different.
Really?
Yeah, he's had his teeth worked on. But I think I've had like a soft spot for him, even though I've never been super crazy about him. But finding out that he's so severely dyslexic, and so I was like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like I can identify a tad. I'm not dyslexic, but Arturo is, and
Keira Knightley.
Doesn't he have it worse
Keira
than
Knightley?
me though?
Yeah, and also Johnny Depp.
Oh
what
yeah,
were you saying,
Johnny
Tim?
Depp.
I mean, Tim. Arturo, what were you saying?
I was just saying I thought he had it severely.
I heard he was very severely dyslexic. He had to have his scripts read to him in order for him to learn his lines.
I wonder if he still does that now.
I don't know.
Surely he's not.
He claims he's been cured.
Well,
Scientology
that's that religious of him.
Yeah,
like that side of him with his religion. No,
I think he just maybe learned how different ways to cope with it that made things easier. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to make any jokes about dyslexia. I don't want those letters.
Simon.
Well, Simon, you will not defend me. I'm not those type of people.
You not offend you. See?
Oh, see, there goes my dyslexia.
Oh, Arturo, some of the stuff you just have to laugh.
No, like I'm not one of those Twitter masters.
Yeah, I know. Shorter every year now. He has to keep outdoing himself. That might be, people do shrink, but I kind of doubt it with Tom Cruise, honestly. Because if you stay in shape and exercise, you probably won't.
He's good at like.
In Top Gun Maverick, I felt like I noticed this watching it, and I didn't think it was a big deal. But then I saw some article or review that mentioned it, where it was like, he had some shots where he was like standing next to a dude that was taller than like Miles Teller, whoever, And it was clear that like Tom Cruise is kind of a shorter than average dude in that shot. And I read that, they usually avoid doing that in his movies. Just, he's a protagonist, they don't want him looking short. He doesn't want it, whatever, same thing. But it's like, they did in this one, at least a couple shots where you're like, it almost, you notice it, like, oh, he's kind of short, dude. Like, unless that other dude's really tall.
How tall is Miles Teller? I never looked that up. I think Tom Cruise is like 5'7".
But yeah, Tom Cruise is shorter than average, a little shorter than average, but he doesn't usually look that way.
He's 6. Yeah, he's 6. He's 6 feet, so he's several inches taller. I really enjoyed his performance in Top Gun Maverick, Miles Teller.
You know what I was gonna say? I actually didn't. I don't know. I shouldn't say performance. I didn't really like the character of Rooster. He just was always kind of, I don't know, that
because kind of he was so like
he had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he did. He did have a chip on his shoulder.
Always kind of like, get out of here, Rooster. We got stuff to. You're getting in the way.
Rooster, be quiet, Rooster.
Get your drama out of here. You got to.
I like the arc though. I think that was the whole point of his character. He was kind of like, boy, your annoyance makes no sense. Like it wasn't his fault that your dad died. Is that really why you're angry? Then you find out later
he pulled the record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
what do you think the chances are Jennifer Connelly becomes a Scientologist now?
Well, probably none. Slim to none.
You think Tom Cruise is like a heat-seeking missile on her now?
I doubt it. Hopefully Paul Bettany will keep her safe.
Oh, that's right. That guy, I can't stand that guy.
Really?
No, I don't like Paul. I just don't like Paul. I don't know. I think he first started to irritate me. It's like Mark Ruffalo syndrome, where they just start like they start spewing these crazy political things, and then they say I don't like people who think like this, and I'm just like, why don't you shut up? Now I don't like you.
I didn't know he did anything like that.
Oh yeah,
that's it is annoying when actors do that because they're treading this fine line. If they it's one thing to like say this is what I think, but then when you go and you basically demonize the other half of the voting population because they don't see
how hot are their wives though? Because is Jennifer Connelly a big liberal? Because at that point, like
I don't know. I've never heard her
say it much.
I mean, like, baby, look at this, man. I'm getting them, honey. I'm letting you know.
Like, here's the thing. She might be, but she never really like.
I've never heard her say anything, so I have no idea. I don't know.
I just don't like that polarization to where it's like everyone has thoughts and views and things like that. I just never get to the point where it's like I just don't find it pleasant because there may be things I like about what they say and there might be things I don't like. But when they just basically, if you at the end of the day are not a sum of whatever that I am determining is a good moral high ground, then you are a bad person. That ultimatum, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
it's like the
that
lack
stuff.
of nuance. It's like that is aggravating. That turns
and
me
it's just
off
like,
too.
dude, shut up. Because now it's like, say there's one thing I don't like. Now I'm going to watch the movie. It's going to be one of those things that pops in my head, and then I have to bury it, which is fine. I usually can bury everything because obviously you don't have to like everything about everybody to enjoy them as a performer. But
the thing is, conservatives do that too. But like, no liberal politicians ever caused an insurrection where several people died. So you can forgive like Carrie Elwes for that.
I don't even know what Carrie Elwes said.
According to Derek, he said you have to vote for Hillary Clinton.
No, it's Hillary, and then he did
the alternative is fucking Donald Trump. Look what happened.
Yeah, there's, I don't know.
I think that's the problem when people they take an emotional stance and it becomes one or the other. I mean, I think, in America, like at least half the country doesn't even vote. They don't even identify with Democrat or Republican. And I mean, even a lot of the people that vote Democrat or Republican are just kind of do it because their neighbors and their family do. They're not passionate about it. Like the people who the media makes it seem like all these people care so much, but most people are like, I got my job and my shit. I don't give a fuck about all this. At least that's how I am, and a lot of people I know is that it comes off on the internet and the media that there's all this them and us, or these two sides.
Social media definitely
I never
American is just kind of like, what? Like I care about me and my family, and I ain't down with all that shit.
I never watch the news at all. I never watch the media because I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather
And
just live my life and make the best of it.
The way that the media misrepresents things is really frightening because, and it really became clear lately with the Johnny Depp trial. A lot of people watched the Johnny Depp trial. They saw for themselves what happened, but the way the media reported on it was very skewed, if not downright just wrong.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. So a lot of the other stuff that is reported on and talked about, you got to think about the fact that maybe you're not being presented with all the details that might make you think a little bit differently about stuff. So it's just like I got so sick of the media.
Yeah.
And I don't watch any of those. Like, you see stuff on headlines, right? You know, you log into a site and you see headlines. Twitter has headlines, whatever. But that's what I'm exposed to, and I see. It turns me off so much. And yeah, like you said, Colin, most people are not at each other's throats. I do think social media has really kind of made people think that everybody hates each other.
Yeah.
But in day-to-day life, that's just not
But
really.
it's kind of interesting how, like you were saying, like only like half of the population votes, and then it's like, you know, give or take, it's usually 50-50, and then the handful of independent votes. So you get a quarter of the population deciding for 100%. It is an interesting little observation. It is accurate, Colin. So
well, also not to mention the fact that I might be wrong about this stat, but I thought that I heard that like independent voters, like people who are actually independent, they're not no party affiliation, is like one of like hugely growing. So most people, I think, or many, or if not most people, just don't want to be associated with one party or the other.
Yeah.
And I think that most people probably think that way. They're just like kind of sort of middle of the road types of stuff.
But then again, in a lot of jurisdictions, the people funding the voter campaigns is the two main parties for the independents, because they can take votes away from their opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got it locked down to make sure it's
the two-party system. They want to make sure there's no real competition, so they make it extremely hard for other parties.
It's not even that; it's mathematically inevitable that you'll arrive at a two-party system with the first past the post voting process. What you need is proportional representation.
What the first thing you said? Which made it inevitable?
A first past the post voting system. Like whoever gets the most votes wins.
Yeah.
Whereas proportional representation is kind of weighted. You'd like name your top three, and then
there's so many.
It's kind of more evenly distributed.
So many holes in the framework, and then there's so many like corruption elements.
Yeah.
And then there's so much apathy in the population.
There is
ignorance, or specifically like political ignorance. That it's a
well, if a place like Mexico can turn itself around, maybe there's hope for. I mean, Mexico's got a long way to go, but so for years and years and years and years, the PRI was dominated. That they were the party. They would have elections, but whatever. The PRI's always going to win. Yeah. But now there's like multiple parties in Mexico, and the party of the current president, I can't remember what he's called. I can't remember what
El Presidente.
I know, but I mean the party. Like, I know what it is. So they have the PRI, which had a monopoly for decades. Then they have the PAN, then they have the PRD, then they have the Moreno party. I think he's from the Moreno party. So now they've got 4 pretty strong political parties, and maybe their republic or voting system is probably set up different from ours, but I keep hoping that in the future we'll have some sort of
like maybe
change
the
like that
Libertarian
here.
Party or something, Libertarian, and maybe something else.
Probably the only
that's a third party, but they're so small, really small. I mean, like I feel like if you had it's kind of the same with companies like for example, like Disney, they're getting too big. Mm-hmm. They're getting way too big to the point where they're going to be like a big monopoly. Same with Sony. Like you can't have one company that owns everything. You have to have a balance, Otherwise, you have
competition.
Yeah, you have
Disney's
to have
like buying up everything.
That is an interesting point. Like a duopoly system, political system, will create antitrust laws for companies.
For antitrust for what what do you mean?
You mean like anti-monopoly laws?
Yeah, anti-monopoly laws.
but yet there's monopolies, like cable
In
companies
politics,
have
yeah.
monopolies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like that's how I view politics. Like I feel like if you had multiple parties, I think it just would kind of balance it out, and it would be a bit better. I mean, Japan, they have like 7 parties,
Oh,
like a lot.
dang.
I mean, it's
I don't think I knew that.
Like of course, one of them is more on top than all the others, but
Oh,
still, the
okay.
fact that they have 7 though.
I mean, I think America technically has 7 parties or
I mean,
more.
we do.
There's
Also
several.
They're so low though.
Yeah,
I mean, there's the
it's-
Green Party, which is not a good party.
It makes
then-
it hard for, but the
Green,
2-party system makes
Libertarian,
has all these like
independent.
they put all these roadblocks in the way.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot of
really frustrating.
I just try to view it as a whole company monopoly business. You have to have a balance. You can't, because otherwise you have an issue. I just think if there was like maybe one more party, then things would be balanced
Giant
out.
meteor. Well, I don't hope for that personally, but
I'll put a video explaining that thing in the Discord. Not knowing
Okay.
where else to put it, I'll put it in
Wait,
not
the
safe for
Discord
shit
meteor?
posting.
yeah, that's fine.
A giant.
It sucks,
meteor.
dude. Like I work for a company that does like political fundraising from home calls. It sucks. I hate it, but it's the only job I could get, and it's easy, and I work from home. Pays pretty good. So we just sit there and we call people who've donated money before to gun safety.
Oh, so you don't have to do like cold calls to strangers or anything.
That happens.
Oh.
Once. That does.
Hey,
It's like
man.
how many people scream at you?
That does happen sometimes, or we'll call people who will get the wrong number or something, But like, honestly, it rubs right off when people yell, because I know they're yelling at the phone, not me, and less people than you would think do that. But the point is that we just got out by this other company, and so I googled this company we bought out by, and they're like the big dogs in the data. It's all about data, call lists of donors and shit like that. And they're the number one. And I found this article that was like, the owners of this company that's a big deal for the Democrats and shit, they also own other companies that sell all sorts of information to Republicans and fringe Republicans and shit. So they're really like, the rich are just selling this data to both sides. Like, we'll help both you guys get elected, and then we'll get
Like
rich.
Palantir or something?
We don't give a fuck who really wins. What is it?
Is it Palantir or something?
The company Tom I work for, Target Smart. It's like just a Democratic fundraiser.
So they're like the movie from 2005, Lord of War.
So yeah, I mean, it's all bullshit. I mean, I remember when I was living in LA, one of my roommates, like his parents or some of his parents' friends were political speechwriters, and they would just write speeches for, at the time, 2012, what was it, Obama and Romney?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, they were writing speeches for Romney, but then they got hired to write speeches for Obama. Like, it's layers of bullshit that is open knowledge. It's all a big show. And it's,
You look at campaign managers and stuff like that in politics, and you'll see, like, you'll look at their thing, and in our like partisan mind shift, we're like, oh, they're a Republican or they're a Democrat, and then you'll see when you look at their resumes, it's almost shocking to us because we're just not conditioned to thinking like that. But you'll see, like, they'll be like 2 years they worked for Democrats and 2 years they worked for Republicans and 3, and then they're back and forth, and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, they can play both sides because they don't care. They're just getting paid. It's a job to them, and it's just like, whether the money's there, they don't care. That's where they go. And I'm sure they have their own opinions.
What's really fucked up is Ukraine is all about the military-industrial complex. There's a lot of Americans who are getting rich off war. A lot of American companies that sell weapons, they're like, let's keep this thing going.
It's not. It's about Alexander Dugin and the geopolitics of.
Well, it may have
the
started
foundation of geopolitics was this book that outlined exactly what he thought the future of Russia was, and Putin is treating it like a to-do list. One thing he had was separate the UK from Europe because it's an extraterritorial base of the US. Another thing he had was destabilize the US political system, which he did.
Yeah.
And another thing was Ukraine has no cultural identity of its own, should be brought back into Russia. If you look up the foundations of geopolitics by Alexander Dugin.
I did last time you told me. I did.
Yeah, like I know he was trying to do that.
There's truth in that, but also at the same time, regardless of how we got here. It's opportunists, whether or not people knew it was going to be here or planning for it, or they're just like, they don't give a fuck about the bombing children. They're just like, we get to sell our bombs. Like, let's, like that's when you think about American military, like how much money do we give? $1 trillion. We throw away Elon Musk's fortune on shit that doesn't work. Like, all the time. Like, trillions of dollars in the military. Where's that money profit us? Like, you put money into whatever infrastructure, it comes back to American money. But when money goes in the military, if we're not using it, we're throwing money away. So that's why, like, a lot of American interests, specifically weapons, Lockheed Martin, all those fuckers, they want this shit. Like, because this is their fortune. This is big billions. And so that's what I'm saying is, whether or not they plan us to get here or they're just taking off advantage, it's all the same. I mean, they're evil. And it's all out in the open. Like, I'm not talking about shit that no one doesn't know. That's just, that's how it is. Like, we live in a crazy world. That's why we just watch movies. That's how it is.
Yes, exactly.
Well, as far as actors broadcasting political opinion, I think you nailed on the head. It's all about how they're portrayed in the media. Because I think Anna's is exemplified by this podcast. I have a belief that anyone who talks a lot of shit.
Yep.
So you take any quote out of context.
Yeah.
And you can make somebody the puppet of whatever you want.
For sure.
Which is why it's good if something has come up about what someone has said to go and try to find the full thing yourself. And sometimes you find that they've been hugely misrepresented. That happens a lot. And then sometimes you find that, no, they really were being an asshole and I don't care too much for them anymore because of that. So, but
or they're just doing press interviews all day. And they're like,
right. Maybe they just had it.
Okay, I'll talk about this.
I do think actors, though, like, look, I get they have freedom of speech to say whatever they want or believe in whatever they want, but like we've mentioned before, when they attack people, then, well, you divide a lot of people.
Yeah,
that way.
I just question the intelligence of doing stuff like that.
I mean,
I don't ever think they should be silenced or shut up, but I just question the thought process. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go and insult half of our fans. It's just that it makes no sense to me, But I think it was the drinker pointed out that social media, I think social media has had a lot to do with the fact that people are seeing now what actors really think of their lessers. What a lot of actors really think of their lessers. They can't hide behind it anymore because they're like, they want to interact with the fans and they get all these likes and they like it. And then they just throw out all this stuff. Whereas before they were kind of kept behind this wall of, like their handlers or whatever. Yeah. And maybe they thought half of their audience was a piece of crap, but that never really got out. But now it does. And so people see it and it's like, hey, that's not cool.
This is why I'm tired of Hollywood.
I think
of Tom Cruise, and I can't think of his. Like, I don't know who he votes for. I mean, I guess I could look for it, but I'm just saying I like that mentality. It's like he's a performer, he's cool, and he just doesn't. I don't know what his opinions are. I don't care.
He's too interested in aliens. Fucking purging his body of thetans and shit.
To be honest, out of most,
he might not
vote at all for all we know.
Like
he might be
but see, he never talks about it, but that's all right. That's his choice. If he doesn't want to talk about it, he's entertaining us with fabric.
And if they want to say something like it, doesn't offend me either. Because I mean, obviously, half of the 2/3 is Hollywood. 3, who knows? Obviously, they have a liberal slant, and that's cool. I just don't like the pollers when he says the ultimatum type stuff. That's just my pet peeve, I suppose.
I think it's like I realize in my real life, there's times I've been really ashamed of my actions and said shit or done shit I wish I hadn't. That I wish I could take back. Not many times, but a few times.
Like all those murders.
I'm really glad
all those bodies in the desert
captured on social media or shit. Like if I got famous, that shit, I would never live some of that shit down. So it's almost like it's hard for when you think. I think about it as being like a human being. Like all you ever really are is one moment. It's hard to be like. Everything you've ever done is who you are now. Like, whoa, dude, I'm tired right now. I don't
yeah, know but a lot of times when they
were in your worst moment, worst moment, is somehow
Sometimes
also
it's not
real
just one
every day.
moment, though. Sometimes it's not just one moment. Sometimes, like,
Right.
especially if you look on their Twitter feed, that's all they're about.
Right. Oh no,
And-
I'm not trying to defend. I'm trying to make just a general point where I know personally I've done things where I've like been said shitty things and I'm ashamed. I know that that's not who I am every day. It's
Yeah,
far,
you
far,
wouldn't want to
here.
be. Yeah.
you know, far from
I've never
it.
said anything shitty.
Oh.
But and so there's
Simon,
certain
we have
moments in my
perfection
life
with
where I'm
us.
like, yo, if that shit was captured, I would be, canceled for sure. But like, thankfully, no one gives a shit about me or what I say. And
If you were famous though, Colin, they probably would.
yeah, so I kind of get that where it's a weird line where it's like, I don't know, certain times I'll forgive or forget things. They cross the line. Certain things I can't though, like the Michael Jackson shit, where I'm like, dude, I can't listen to your music anymore after that last documentary, which I heard about.
Oh, I haven't watched the rebuttal to that, but you know what? I used to be on the anti-MJ thing too, and then I read more into stuff, and now I don't buy into that.
Ugh.
So, yeah.
Oh, I won't go.
One thing,
But I get your point, though. I get what you mean. Like, there's some lines that once it's crossed, it's really hard. Like, it's really.
It wasn't an emotional outburst or like sustained behavior.
Or you just.
How bad was one emotional outburst?
I'm so sick of these bots. I wish there was like something you could put.
Did anybody finish their top 3 yet?
Oh my gosh!
I thought we all. Well, okay, no.
just before we go on, I just want to say that one thing I've been thinking about is like they say that movies reflect the insecurities of their time. Like, say, during the Cold War, you had stuff like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the trend towards multiverses is a reflection of our sort of social media silos.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's an interesting point.
Maybe. Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah, we really went off topic there.
Oh yeah. So we never.
We got to get back on topic.
Okay.
Here. What?
Okay.
Wait, who?
I'll give my top 3 real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Bing, bing.
We won't have a lot of time to talk about shows because
I do want to bring up a few though.
Yeah.
I do want to bring up a
so
few.
Batman Begins, obviously.
Number 1.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I mean, I love that movie, and The Island. Like
Nice.
that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, I like it too.
Who was that? Did Colin already go?
I went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I the last one?
Simon's going to have trouble. I don't know. Did you?
I've gone.
Oh, you're
He's
gonna,
done.
okay.
He's done.
He's done. He doesn't like
Is it just me then?
Barely like.
I think so.
Oh,
Derek threw out some.
yeah. Gee willigers.
What do we got, Arturo?
Goodness. Okay. Well, there's like there's top 5 and then honorable mentions, but the last one can flip. For and this list could change. So right now, the first one would be Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Okay.
And then Harry Potter, number 2.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, number 3.
Harry Potter.
Star Wars Episode 3, number 4. And like I said, the 5th one can either switch. It either can be Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Red Eye. Right now, I have it on Red Eye.
Oh, you liked it that much?
I was impressed for like the amount of time that they were able to.
Yeah, the story that they packed into like 85 minutes worth, 80 or 85 minutes worth. I didn't remember it being that short, and when you're watching it, it doesn't feel that short.
Yeah,
because there's so much happening.
So I
saw that one in theaters. I remember seeing Red Eye in theaters, and Cillian Murphy was really good. I thought he was really good in that one. So
he plays a good baddie.
Yeah,
I
like
the pen in the
thing.
Oh, yeah. I know, and the way he was like, it was a little comedic. I can't stand to see him as a bad guy though, because I like him as a person, and I love his eyes too. His eyes are just like.
He was also in Dunkirk.
But
that soldier that had PTSD, like with what's going on. Remember?
He was in
Dunkirk. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot he was in.
He was the one that was like. He didn't want to go back. He didn't he was.
I totally forgot, but it makes sense because he works with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
There was
he's really good as a bad guy. Like he's just, I don't know. He's got this thing about.
I liked him as Dr. Crane.
Dr. Crane isn't here right now.
Dr. Crane isn't here
You'd
right
like
now,
to
but he
make
would
an
like to make an
appointment?
appointment.
I love that scene.
Now
They're
honorable
making a
mention-
sequel to Red Eye with Amber Heard called Pink Eye.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, that woman. Ugh.
Anyways,
Jeez.
honorable mention. Now, like I said, this one could flip back into number 5. So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Island, The Brothers Grimm, and Chronicles of Narnia.
You had a lot.
I'm
that you
telling
liked.
you, there was too much.
Good year.
Wow.
And Simon, I don't
Oh.
get why you think it was that bad of a year for films.
I think it's probably a mental thing with him, like an emotional.
Yeah, like I get that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
just psychoanalyze me.
Favorites.
What's that, Simon?
Yeah, just psychoanalyze me.
I get it. I mean, that year for
I
us,
don't know.
was
I
Engaged
might-
to get married that year, in the year of Mrs. and Mrs. Smith. Come on.
Oh, I know that's right. No, I'm teasing, but I wonder.
No, I just wasn't impressed really by any of
Just-
the movies. I thought they were all okay. Just nothing great.
No.
Couple
no
of fun movies,
consistent
nothing
standouts
great.
to you.
Yeah.
what are you talking
So
about?
this is probably going to be your lowest year of the decade, then.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
far, the lowest
Yeah.
for me was 2003. At least for now.
I think next year is going to be my favorite year of the day.
I'm looking forward to seeing Deja Vu again.
I think
Woo-hoo.
2008 was I was thinking ahead. 2008, 9, I think were the weak moments for me in this decade. And it's like, I liked everything up until, I thought those were underwhelming years. They were weird.
Before we jump into shows real quick, I do want to mention some pretty, at least maybe one blockbuster video game. Resident Evil 4 came out this year.
Oh,
yeah.
you love that game.
Yeah.
Y tras de ti, imbécil.
I didn't beat it. I played it last year. I got to the end and it got real hard. And I was like, well, I made it far enough.
Are you going to get the remake? Oh my God.
I don't
this
have
person. I swear.
PlayStation?
Oh,
I'm definitely getting the remake because that's like the only Resident Evil game I beat out of the series.
Well, do you have a PlayStation? How are you going to?
no,
I've
he
got
doesn't have one
Well,
yet.
oh, yeah, no, I don't like I'm looking right now. I'm actually going to save up. I want to actually get both consoles, to be honest.
I just it might be years from now, but it's at some point. I really want to play 2 and 3 remake as well.
I heard those are really good.
Yeah, and I really want to play the new ones, Biohazard and Village. I heard those are pretty good.
You could probably, I think some of them are available on the Switch now, like the remake for the first Resident Evil.
Oh well, maybe no, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I looked, unless they just came out.
No, they have it. I think I've been looking around.
Although I'll
They
check
do
it
have
out.
it.
Oh, speaking of games, before I forget, Simon, I did post
Hmm.
this on Discord, but I don't know if you saw it. I did get Grim Fandango.
Yes. Awesome.
It was on
Grim
sale, so I couldn't resist it when
Fandango.
I
Let
had
me
got it.
see.
You're gonna have to react to it.
Oh no. I'm slow. That'll be a lot of editing. I swear.
Mom, you need to play Resident
Live
Evil.
streaming.
Oh gosh. I
Live
live
stream
stream
Resident?
playing playing Gabriel Knight, and I live stream playing that Michael
Dead by
Myers
Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. I suck at gaming.
You were like just walking up on the walls.
I did. I actually got a joystick. If I
We
ever
need to
play
do
that
that again for
Like
Halloween. We need to do that again for Halloween.
maybe we'll just do that every year for Halloween.
Because
But
of how
I don't
freaked
know.
out you
I'll
get.
be like probably walking in circles the whole game, Simon. It's
Play
really
Resident
bad.
Evil.
And
Play
I have to go to uhshints.com. No, I'm not going to play Resident Evil. But yeah,
I also have.
I'm not a good
Just do it for
gamer.
Day of the Dead.
Say what? Do it
Do
Day
it
of
for
the
Day
Dead?
of the Dead.
When
On
is
theme.
Day of the Dead is November 1st.
Wednesday, the
right?
2nd of November this year.
The 2nd of November. Okay, I always thought it
Have
was
a good one,
1st of
Chris.
November. Okay, maybe. Oh, did
And
Derek get
Derek
kicked off
got-
or did he
got
leave?
kicked off again.
Probably got kicked off.
I also have a very,
That's
very.
an idea.
I actually
Simon.
have a
Don't do
very
that.
rare game. I'm actually getting the review ready for it. Hopefully, I'll publish it soon, maybe next week. That like Capcom game, Haunting Ground, that came out.
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
the one with the dog.
Mm-hmm. That
Okay.
one came out.
Are we going to quickly run through shows?
Yeah,
have less
so
than
real
30
quick.
minutes.
Now obviously as of the picture in the background, there's Avatar: The Last Airbender, the
Oh.
Nickelodeon inspired anime show that started in 2005. I actually remember when it came on.
I didn't realize that.
Yep, I remember when it started. I watched a bit of it at the time. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Lately, though, one of my coworkers at work, he was kind of talking to me about it, and we were talking about how the decade of the 2000s was pretty much like the last decade for good content. So I think he might have kind of convinced me to actually watch it.
I've heard that's a really good show, but I've never watched it.
Posted the shows in the private chat.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what American.
Oh my gosh! I accidentally put that. Oh my Lord! I'm trying to put them in timeout or hide them or whatever or block them, and sometimes I can't block them.
What the heck? Like his title.
I know. Yeah, that was the link I'm looking at. I see that Grey's Anatomy started. That show has been going on forever. Now, I thought Colin wanted to specifically talk about The Office, and he went away.
The American Dragon.
Where he went to
started.
I've never heard of that one.
For years, I thought Grey's Anatomy was like a alien autopsy show.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You really did? No.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't watching it. I just thought, oh, Grey's Anatomy must be like aliens.
But Grey's, why would you?
Because they're called Greys. The aliens are called Greys.
Yeah, but the medical book is called Grey's Anatomy. That wasn't.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not either. But I saw that, one day, like the medical book. It's Grey, whoever Grey is, doctor, I don't know what. Long time ago, he wrote this book. And it's literally called, I believe it's literally called Grey's Anatomy. So, okay, I never made that mental leap. That's interesting, though. Supernatural.
My gym partner's a monkey.
I've never heard of that one, but
that's a cartoon.
Oh, the new Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Yeah, I remember. The first time I saw that, it was on Sci-Fi Channel when I was young, and the only thing I remember, because this was at the time I was getting into World War II stuff. I was starting to learn a little bit about it, not enough, but I got that one episode, The Empty Child, was set in that time period.
That was a good episode.
And the doctor dances. I remember when that aired on Sci-Fi. I was very intrigued.
You were obsessed with those 2 episodes.
For the longest time after that, I had no idea what that was about. I didn't know what it was called. And for pretty much until 2011, that's when I found out about it again.
That was creepy. Creepy episode.
Are you my mommy?
Are you my mommy?
Please let me in, mommy. I'm scared of the bombs, mom.
Did you miss Derek leaving?
I think he must have got kicked off because he just went poof and he was gone. So his internet's obviously been giving him trouble. Hopefully he'll be back. But we started talking about TV shows.
Okay.
In the last few minutes we've got. So you're going to mention, I know you want to talk about The Office.
Yeah, my 2 most watched shows, like I'd say without exaggeration, if you can measure time spent watching television shows, repeat viewings, these were Office and Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, that started also this year.
Yeah, and those are have been my 2, really The Office more in the last, the Sunny in the last 5 or 10 years and Office in the 5 or 10 years before that. Both I just rewatched The Office recently. And I'm always rewatching. It was when I don't know what to watch, I put on The Office. Until so many times, at least 10 times, then I'd have other shows, and Sunny's at the same level of just it's so funny. So many times, and other shows I watched a lot. I love comedy, 30 Rock, and a bunch of other shows. But those 2, Always Sunny and Office, and so many things will trigger a memory. Just someone will say or do or I'll see, and it just reminds me of a joke from one of those shows. And yeah, I mean, I could just go on, but they're my favorite. And if you like comedy, I think they're worth a watch.
Well, I see that It's Always Sunny is still playing, right?
Yeah, they're making a new season.
That thing has been on forever. It seems like it's still going really strong.
Longest running live action show or live action sitcom ever.
Wow.
Just set the record and it's still going. And actually, they just started a podcast maybe 6 months ago. And I guess the podcast, from what I've read, is it's really taken off and become really. And I've started listening to it, where like it's a video podcast, and every episode they're going through the series one by one, starting with episode 1. So each
wow.
episode of the podcast, they'll kind of talk about behind the scenes, but then it's also just like 45 minutes of them goofing around and just talking about whatever. They're really funny guys. It's the key to that show's success. It's kind of 3 guys who were kind of friends and kind of became friends making the show as well. And it's all about like they kind of run it. They're the writers and it's kind of their show. They don't really direct it, but it's all about their sense of humor. Like they can make themselves laugh. They do lots of like improv on the set, and you can really tell that it's a passion. You know, they're making themselves laugh, and there's a lot of genuine humor.
And it's been able to stay fresh, like it doesn't get old.
It's amazing that each season's about 10 episodes. You know, it's not like 20 episode seasons, but the first 2 or 3 seasons they're finding their footing. You know, a little bit. I think by season 4, it really feels like they know who they are, the characters are, and what the show is, and then each season after that, it's really consistent in that. There's no season that's particularly good or bad. They're all like a 9, you know. Every season has some real standout episodes, a few that are just okay, a lot of just good average episodes. And I would say honestly, their most recent seasons, the first one ever where I was almost like there wasn't really a super standout awesome. It was maybe their weakest season to date, and it's still better than almost every other show that I watch.
Oh, wow.
I think it's all about it's because it's not like writers and they're like, what do we do? It's all about those guys. Just can we make each other laugh? Can we find what's funny? Can we figure out something funny to do? And so it really is. If they keep making themselves laugh, and it keeps making everyone else laugh too.
Interesting. I know my brothers like that show.
There's Trinity Blood that came out this year. Do you remember that?
Wait a second.
You watched some of it. You watched some of it.
Oh, that's an anime.
Yeah, it's an anime about vampires.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it all.
Yeah, I remember you watching it, though.
Oh, Medium started this year. Sorry. I'm getting distracted looking at the list. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I always felt like the art style and the way it looked, at least the last time I remember watching, it held up well for a 2005 show.
Yeah, I never finished it. Is it on Funimation?
I think it might be. The downside with that show, as much as I liked it, it just ends. It ends like with a cliffhanger.
Oh well, then screw it. I don't think I want to see it then.
Like there's almost like I never even bothered to add it to my collection because there's nothing else unless you read the books.
Yeah, that sucks.
There was Ben 10.
Oh yeah, I saw that as I was scrolling through. Everybody Hates Chris.
What?
Everybody Hates Chris. It's a comedy show. I think with Chris Rock. Yeah.
It was
like did Bob the Builder start
based on his childhood, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I never watched it.
Did Bob the Builder start this year?
2005?
I thought it started earlier than that. The Sweet Life.
That's a stupid bot. There's no sense in even trying to engage with it. It's just, I can't figure out how to make it go away forever. It keeps coming. I can only put it in timeout. Yeah. Blocking it doesn't work. They just come back.
The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Oh, yeah.
That was a funny show.
Oh, Weeds. I never saw that.
You know, I watched it and it wasn't... It's one of those. It's not really for potheads. Like it's almost like maybe it's for grown-ups that smoke pot on the weekend once in a while.
It's not really for potheads.
You know, it
was like for casual consumer.
It didn't.
It's really, it's like the Gilmore Girls for edgy women.
Yeah, that's what it felt.
Crypto the Super Dog.
Rome came out. I never saw that show.
What, Crypto?
No,
I
Rome.
never watched Rome either. Maybe that was good. Maybe I never watched it.
Prison
I
Break.
like historical fiction.
Wow, Prison Break went on forever, you guys. 2005 to 2017.
I remember the second year of that show. I was like, wait, so now what are they doing? Like,
Right, exactly. Like they're out. I know.
Oh, Robot Chicken.
Oh, geez. Okay, that one.
Yeah.
How I Met
Colbert
Your
Report
Mother.
was this year.
The Colbert Report. Okay. A lot of these shows. Wow, I didn't realize they were as old as they were.
The Colbert Report was kind of like making fun of right-wing stuff. At the same time, it was almost like, this also kind of seems like if I was right-wing, I could just watch this and enjoy this without feeling insulted. Like, it was almost on the nose as a satire that it just felt like the thing it was making fun of. Like, maybe I was sensitive at the time or for some reason, but I remember watching it feeling like, this makes me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't unlike the Daily Show, which was kind of the show it followed, that made it. The Daily Show felt very clear, like, we're goofing on the news. Whereas the Colbert Report was like, we're making fun of the news, but it's kind of right, though. I don't know how to do. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, like you said, it was so on the money that it felt like I was watching just like someone that was happy to be ignorant and an asshole, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
There was the Boondocks. Does anybody know the Boondocks?
Oh, that's a classic that I never really watched a lot, but
I never saw it. Heard of it.
It's kind of.
I've seen
I
it.
always found that it was a bit like just because of all the stuff that happens in it. Like, there is some comedic moments, but
it's a cartoon.
And it's like serious mixed with comedy, I think, which is why I never stuck with it. Like, I'd see really funny parts or clips, but then it wasn't like all funny, I think.
Yeah, like, I never was interested in it because of some of that stuff. I remember the one thing that was kind of a little funny, like this old guy with the one eye that's really like I remember he's running, he's like, I'm having a heart attack. And he falls over, but there's still he's still moving around, and there's stuff weird.
That was a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and people had it, like, looking through here, it's added in the anime category for some reason.
Why did I get the feeling though that it's not a cartoon for kids?
It's not.
I didn't think it was. Yeah.
It's an Adult Swim.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm not seeing I'm seeing some stuff that I recognize, but I didn't really watch it. Probably the only things on here that I watched with any halfway regularity was Supernatural and Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, Supernatural came out this year.
Yeah, I mentioned that. That was.
I know
those early years were really good.
Yeah.
What's that, Colin?
Do you think
both pretty big shows had a big following? Both of those have a big following.
Yeah,
big fan base.
Supernatural stopped being good after about season 4 or 5. Yeah. What were you saying, Simon?
Do you think there was much of an influence of 9/11 in media at this point? Because looking at the #1 movie, which is Revenge of the Sith, that has that whole "This is how liberty dies" with thunderous applause scene.
Oh.
Nah, I don't think.
Then you got stuff like War of the Worlds, which could be.
I'm not
perceived as a metaphor.
It wouldn't.
Jarhead's obvious. Batman Begins has terrorism.
I read an article years back that said that connected the rise in the fantasy and superhero genre in the decade after 9/11 being with people wanted to escape into fantasy worlds. So maybe that I don't think there was enough nuance in the population to be like the Star Wars 3 was a Star Wars. It wasn't had to do with freedom.
Well,
that was the Patriot Act, I think.
It was what?
That was the Patriot Act. That line, "This is how liberty dies" with thunderous applause, was a direct commentary on the Patriot Act.
Because I believe he did write the script after.
Yeah. No, most Americans wouldn't have picked up on that. I don't think.
I don't. Well,
maybe
they wouldn't have picked up on it as being a direct reference to the whole 9/11 stuff, but you could certainly see the political.
Well, I mean, in general, Star Wars has to do with some political stuff anyway. So.
Yeah, it always did. Like the whole stormtroopers and the whole, the Empire. That's all tied into World War II and stuff.
Some of it also is based off of other things too, religion, Wild West stuff, just because of all the influence. But no, like
Revolutionary
the universe
War
itself, though, the universe itself has to do like because of war and stuff. That's all political.
Did Lucas specifically say that line was in reference to the Patriot Act? Because it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
I don't know.
People were very, so like looking back on the Patriot Act now, a lot of people are like, yeah, that wasn't a good thing. At the time, it seemed like a good thing to a lot of people.
Oh, we knew.
So I could see why that would have been certainly something, because I believe they were filming in 2003, so he probably had the script done at some time after 2001 and the Patriot Act and all that. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Well, me and my teenage friends, we knew the Patriot Act was like, uh-oh. Like, where's this going to go when we're growing up?
Well, it's things with the government very rarely go to good places with stuff like that.
In a way, I'm just glad I don't know. I realized not to trust anything from a young age. Like, I don't believe in it. It's all corrupt. It's like cynical, but also.
See, back then, even if that meant the thing, it was done in a way where it wasn't.
Like, it could apply to any sort of.
Like it wasn't like nowadays. Everything's like kind of pushy everywhere you go. But back then, goodness, like, yeah, you could have a message, but as long as you do it in the right way, then it should be fine.
Like at the time when I was watching it, I didn't necessarily see it as a direct commentary on what was going on in the country at the time. I just kind of looked at it as a sort of a broader commentary on just tyrannical governments in general and how people are fooled into thinking that it's a great idea and not really understanding the long-term ramifications of things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But see, like, this is why I missed the 2000s, because that like I said, that was pretty much the last decade for good originality, good writing, good storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Well, people definitely used to put messages in their movies back then. It's just they didn't make it so explicit because they didn't have the need to pat themselves in the back on social media.
Well, see, then it was handled in a way where it wasn't overly pushy. Like, I mean, like I get, you could maybe have
it was through allegory rather than direct.
See, like now everything's just direct.
Rather than smacking you upside the head with it.
Like that's why Maverick's like done really well, because it doesn't really.
Maverick doesn't seem to have much commentary as far as things like that go. It's just well, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but there's really nothing like that in it. It's just this story about
stopping
people. I'm going to stay away from talking about this.
I don't think it's a spoiler, but no, I won't say anything.
I'm just trying because Simon hasn't seen it yet. So it just basically it's just a basic story. It doesn't really feel like there's any sort of commentary really about
anything else except for the story.
From whatever angle, it's just
other than using fighter jets to get your way is an effective thing. You kind of have to assume that that's a given. But other than that, there's no political commentary.
Yeah, not really.
Which, I mean, that's why it's gonna probably almost get to $1 billion. Almost.
It might have already.
I think about the opening scene all the time.
Good. Yeah. It was almost a direct copy, pretty much of the. It was pretty much a direct copy.
Okay, not that. The second scene.
Oh, you're talking about Dark Side?
No, Maverick. Maverick.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is Dark Side the flight?
The test.
I haven't seen it.
The test flight is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's not a big spoiler. Sorry.
I think about that. I mean,
that was very well done. And you know what's good too? Also, is that there's humor woven into it.
Yeah.
And it's funny humor, chuckle worthy. It's not ridiculous, over the top, and the pacing just felt excellent. It's well over 2 hours long, but I was entertained the entire time. Never.
I really I liked that it was simple. Like they had a mission, and the movie was about them preparing to
for the mission
and then doing the mission. Like
exactly.
It's real, like, and it didn't waste time and it wasn't confusing. I like how direct it was.
It definitely felt more ominous stuff that was going on than in the first one. The first one is like it's all this drama, it's this romance, take my breath away, and then they have this little fight at the end. Okay,
right. This one's like we're gonna do a mission. Probably someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
And so the whole time you're like, oh, this is for real.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
And just to note, the current box office stands at 900 million.
Okay.
It's getting
900 million.
You're 90% there.
Yeah, it's going to be there. I think it's going to make it there because I also heard that they're probably going to let it stay in the theaters 12 weeks. I think it's probably going to go through into August.
It'll get a little pip on the 4th, you know.
Maybe.
Patriotic movie.
But even then, it's not like USA. It's not like that kind of film either.
No,
so,
it's not at all. But it's like fighter jets, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even into jets, and those jets were cool. I think it was the flying, the way they flew. It was like, oh, geez, this is so cool.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It was awesome. Oh my gosh, it's almost 12, y'all. I got to do my stuff.
It is. Damn. There's so many movies I want to recommend for 2006. Like, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
What you've seen. And
definitely deja vu's on the.
Well, I mean, list. if I could check up on a list of all the great movies of that year, I mean, I've seen a few from that year.
I'll say a couple things. I know we're talking about Tom Cruise, and one of my favorite Tom Cruise action movies is Mission Impossible 3. I think it's the best.
That's a really good film.
I think it's the best Mission Impossible. I like the first one too.
That was such a good comeback from the horribleness of the second one.
Yeah, I think 3 is definitely worth a watch.
I will probably watch that one. Yeah, I've kind of watched them all out of order. I watched the 5th one first, and then made my way with the next one that came out years later. 2 years.
I think you're talking about Maverick, Alan.
So I might as well go back to the third one, and then maybe go back to the first one.
There's so many good.
Arturo, have you seen The Departed?
The Departed. I was just gonna say The Departed's one of the all-time greats.
I've heard of that movie.
That one is recommended so many times.
Finn, watch it, Finn. It's one of, like, if you're not sold within a few minutes, you know, I think it's a real. I think the pace is good. I think it moves along at a good clip. And it keeps you hooked on the story, and you know the basics. The basics of the story. I don't know if you know, but it's like a cop is undercover in a mafia, and then one of the mafia dudes is undercover as a cop, and so the two rats on either side,
right?
Boston police and criminal.
I know of some stuff that happens to some of the characters.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I know. I've stayed away because Mob and Martin Scorsese and Leonardo, and they just don't like. But I do keep hearing that it's excellent.
Did Corey want you to watch that movie?
Yes, Corey's been after me forever to watch it.
It's a lot different than Goodfellas or Casino, because those almost feel like more like the older mobsters sitting around being mobsters. This is a lot more specifically about the two young guys, Damon and DiCaprio, who are like undercover, and there's lots of tension and suspense on like who's gonna get caught, who's gonna pull off like. You know, because it's almost like you kind of like both of them, I feel like, but you're in a way you're kind of rooting for both of them, and so it doesn't feel like those old mobsters movie. Like Jack Nicholson's in it, and like he's kind of.
Oh, I guess I forgot he was in it.
And the weird thing is, Marky Mark steals every scene he's in.
Oh, jeez, I didn't realize. I guess I forgot he was in it too. I have to go because I've got like 3 minutes to do this thing. So I'm sorry. I will just leave the studio if you guys want to keep talking, but our 4 hours is going to run out, and StreamYard might shut us down. Can you put the list of movies in Discord?
I will post some trailers in Discord.
Okay.
I might get out of hand though. I'll try to restrain myself.
Okay.
You want me to just end the broadcast now?
You can if you want.
This has been a lot of fun though.
I'm definitely leaving studio. Thank you,
I gotta say,
everyone.
2005 was very impressive.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Simon. Again, enjoyed it. Bye,
y'all. Everyone watching. Good night.
Bye, Loverboy.